Show. This is the Big O 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 Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welt Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welt Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmith. In South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy. Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Welcome aboard, baby. We are ready to rock and roll from the beautiful Hialeah Park like we do it every Thursday out here at the beautiful poker room, the second floor poker room. So come on by, hang out with us, enjoy some of the gaming action downstairs with the loosest slots in Florida. That is documented right there. The place that just gave away an F-150, baby. It's a beautiful thing, man. So all kinds of stuff we got going on here at Hialeah Park. Great food. Tomorrow I'll be back here to MC a great event, the Larry Little Hall of Famers night. So looking forward to that. We were going to broadcast it, but we're not now. So Sean gets to rest a little, actually, on Friday night. So that's a good thing. I don't, obviously, but it'll be a crazy, crazy night. So it's one of those where we do the show. Then we chill for a little bit, then go back down to Hialeah Park to MC a show, and then race out to meet my daughter and my wife because it's her birthday. So it's a full Friday night, but it'll be a good Friday overall because we're blessed, man. We're able to do this every single day and able to hang out with all of you every single day, which is a beautiful thing. So thank you all for downloading. Thanks to the folks that sent me the Spotify love, all the hours that you have spent watching our show and listening. So, listening obviously with Spotify, that would be watching on YouTube. But and that's kind of the other thing that we've noticed, that the views are picking up, and so it's one of those things where people are getting used to actually going to YouTube a lot more than, let's say, iTunes or Spotify or Stitcher and all that stuff. So it's kind of one of those, we're all evolving as a society in the way we get our material, whether it's comedy and politics and sports and entertainment and all that kind of stuff, and YouTube and all kinds of platforms are the things that are pretty much carrying it overall nowadays. Radio is obviously, as you all know, it's pretty much close to dead as it is. So we've got a bunch already on the chat board. I see Brian Walters in. Yeah, I saw that about Tyler Van Dyke staying. We'll get to that. There's all kinds of folks out there. Thank you all for chiming in. Remember to smash the like button. Very important. Subscribe. Help us get to 20,000. We want to make a big run to 20,000, man. We're at 16.6 now. So thank you all out there as we've got a bunch of supporters coming in and helping us out. I know I made the call out to the crew, part of Dougley Durong's platform, and I said, hey, come on, let's go. Help us get to 20,000. And it looks like they're starting to trickle in and help us get to that point. So come on, man. Spread the word. Tell another Dolphin fan. If your mom has an account, make her subscribe. If your brother has an account, make him subscribe. If your sister has an account, make him subscribe. Even if you don't get along with your mother-in-law, make her subscribe, okay? That's what you got to do. So we appreciate all of you out there for continuing to support us and help us climb, and get to that 20,000 mark. That would be really, really nice as a next step for us here on the platform. So we got Sean Stanley, as always, mastering the program. We've got, let's see, Marcel Louis-Jacques joining us at 4 o'clock, and we've got Alan Poopart stopping by at 5 o'clock. So we will have fun with those guys, and we'll talk some Dolphins. We'll get ready for that game against San Francisco. The line is still 4. The over and under is 46.5. Now, Miami is plus 175 now on the money line, and San Francisco is minus 205 on the money line. So that's been the slight change with all of that, of course. And so that's the tough one there, but we'll see. I think, listen, if Armstead's going to play, I feel good about the Dolphins. I really do. Kevin Beal, thank you for the love on Venmo. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And Kevin says, Big O, the Niners are beatable bottom line. They gave up 28 points to Mariota and lost by 14 points a few weeks back. Also, I'm looking up McKinley's stats at Oregon. He was elite. How the heck did he go undrafted? He had a better college career than Holland, LOL. I don't know. But all I know is our guys know how to find, talent. And that's it. That's why I keep saying that the Dolphins have one of the best. Well, I've been saying this for a couple of years, by the way. This isn't a now thing. Like, all the people coming up, I can't believe Tua was mistreated here and there. And I'm like, yeah, after the fact, thanks. We've been talking about this for over a year now, and it's the same thing here. I've been telling people for a couple of years that the Dolphins will prove to have one of the best front offices in the NFL, and they're already doing it. And that's because they have a coaching staff that's not really getting in the way of what they're doing, and that's the problem. Flo got in the way of too much stuff. Ho Yoon, thank you for the love on Venmo. He says a happy Thursday. Thank you, Ho Yoon. That is very kind of you. Again, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. And, of course, if you have a question or a comment. Now, are the 49ers beatable? This is the question that, some of you are asking, and some of you, look, are they beatable? Of course they're beatable. Listen, the Miami Dolphins can beat anybody in the NFL. Now, could they lose to the top teams? Of course. Goes both ways. The key will be Teron Armstead. If Teron Armstead can play, it will make life a little easier to try to overcome the 49ers. Okay, you've got to give the 49ers their respect. They can run the ball. They've got a good offensive line. They've got one of the best tackles in the world, okay? They've got a terrific receiving core overall from Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. They've got a tight end that is all world. That will not be easy. Their defensive front is badass. Their weakness is in their secondary, their corners. You can attack their corners. And when you have Tyreek and Waddle, you have two guys that have just special speed out there that they will be able to get open. So the quest will be, can the line keep Tua clean for about 2.5 seconds? and give him time so his guys can get open quickly. You know Tua is going to want to get rid of the ball quickly. He's going to be smart about this. You're dealing with Boza. You're dealing with a bunch of guys on that D-line that are just badasses. So they're going to come after this kid. And they saw what happened in the Texans game. Now, Miami did not have really time to prepare for all the chaos that happened there and put guys out of position and all that. And so it was a different scenario. They will be better off, as we've talked about throughout the week. From left guard to right tackle, you should be fine. You should put Shell back at right tackle, and now you're fine from left guard to right tackle. The question will be left tackle. Will Teron Armstead play? And if he can play, what kind of limitations does he have because of that strained pec? And that's what we don't know. And trust me, that defensive end that's going to rush on that side is going to test that pec over and over and over again. Now, Teron is exceptional when it comes to his fundamentals. So he will be able to, fend some stuff off because he does it. You look at him and it looks like he's like really not trying out there. That's how good he is. That's when the linemen are the best. Those big ass linemen, when you see them like they're barely moving and they're just shifting a little bit and they're just engulfing that guy in front of them, and that guy in front of him is trying all kinds of moves and he's just keeping them in front of him and all that. But it looks effortless. And when you watch Teron Armstead, it looks effortless because he's great. And I think that happens to Tua too, by the way. That I think people underappreciate his accuracy, his delivery. I think people underappreciate the fact that he can make those quick decisions and deliver the ball in really tight windows. And I think people take it for, I don't know why you would take it for granted. I get the people that are outside of the Dolphin land. Anybody in the Dolphin land, I don't get it. But let me tell you something. They are beatable, okay? They are beatable, and you can attack that secondary. The key is keeping that front seven off of Tua. And like any quarterback, give them some time to pass the damn ball. That's it. Jose Banos, thank you, sir. He says, couldn't miss the show, Big O. Listening, live here from the ER. The wife is about to give birth. Wish us luck. Wow, all right. Congratulations. Good luck. And tell us if it's a boy or a girl, man. That's awesome. And the name and everything, Jose. Congratulations, man. That's a beautiful thing. And the man is in the middle of birth and watching the show. That's true dedication to his family and to his football family. What was that? I think he has the phone right on the wife's belly right now. Okay. That wife has got to hate me. I mean, really, are you listening to this idiot while I'm about to give birth? What the hell is wrong with you? Right? We drive wives crazy. And we see it firsthand, right? when the husband and the wife come over to say hi and all that, and she's like, "Yeah, no, you're on every day. You're on. Yeah, I know your ass. Damn, it's like he listens more to you than me. That kind of stuff. I get that. Those are the looks I get from the wives. So apologies to all the wives out there that we drive crazy." Knight, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says the Chiefs killed the Niners. Miami can win. Of course they can win, but don't make it sound easy. Don't go in there thinking you're going to blow them out by 20. If it happens, fantastic. But this is going to be a tough game. Okay, this is going to be a tough game. And do not underestimate them at all. Good coach. They got talent all over the place. They're home. You got to respect it. But hey, look, this is a great way for McDaniel to find out, another way of overcoming adversity. If Armstead doesn't play, then you're going to have to be incredibly creative. And remember, this is the kind of week where you've got to be so prepared that you've got to prepare for what could happen, which is Armstead plays and he plays like 3 plays and he's out. So you better have somebody already in place that's getting left tackle reps. I'm sure Armstead is not doing reps anyways throughout the week. That's the beauty. You should be able to train somebody to play left tackle throughout the week. And I would imagine it's going to be Greg Little. That's going to be because he's the healthy one. Austin is not. And then what you can do is chip and support Greg Little like we've talked about throughout the game. That's what you're going to have to do, unfortunately. And, you just got to pray that Greg Little has the game of his life. So you got to pray that Trent Williams' spirit climbs into, Greg Little, and all of a sudden he plays, one of those games that, things just went well for you. He's a pro. He can do that. Any guy at this level can have a game. And that's what you got to hope for, unfortunately. But that's just where it comes down to. Big O, that man has some type of wife for him to be watching your show while in labor. Yeah, he's got a great wife. There's no doubt about that. Chad goes, congrats, brother. I've been there. Yeah, we see Chad all the time with baby in hand and then managing the show, too, at the same time. Let's see. I think McDaniel is just saying Armstead is playing to throw off the Niners. I doubt he actually plays. No, Topher. I was told 2 nights ago that he's going to give it a go. Okay? Same source on the Byron Jones stuff. And I've been right on the Byron Jones stuff that there were other things and setbacks, and he's been very particular about his return and all that stuff. And he's barely around also the facility. He's not there all the time. So nobody's denied any of that. Okay? Nobody's called me from the building and told me, hey, nothing. Because it's the tooth. Okay? So just telling you, he is going to give it a go. Probably have a harness, find out what kind of limitations. And I think, we'll see. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does. I don't know what he's doing for treatment. I don't know how bad the strain is. That's what we don't know. But if he's going to give it a go. So Super V says, Big O, just like you verbalized many times that Tua excelled behind one of the worst offensive lines in football the past 2 seasons. So anyone with common football sense can see he had a talent. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, there's this video going around about this young lady that has a podcast, and they were finding out that last year they that Tua had that the coaching staff wasn't telling him to kind of use his, anticipatory skills or something like that. And it's like, it's just one of those things that we kept talking about last year, that you had 3 stooges doing something they've never done before. You had, Charlie Fry, who I guess knew him from 7 on 7's great, which is fantastic. But you had never really been a quarterback at the NFL, a quarterback's coach at the NFL level. And that in that video with McDaniel on the sidelines from last week, he goes, thank God for Bev. And he's talking about Coach Bevel. And it's really like, it's just one of those deals where I love how all this stuff is coming out now, like how he was treated and what the coaching staff was like and all that. And it's like, well, where were you people a year ago? Where were you? Were you not listening? Were you not? You had to turn on the platform every day, and we were telling you that crap was going on behind the scenes, that he wasn't treating him right. I told you that even what's it called? Gailey told him he wasn't ready in the Rams game, and he still played him. I mean, there's all kinds of examples. It's just now, and then the other one I found out, what was it? They were arguing. Oh, it was, Acho. Sam Acho's been big on supporting Tua. So him and Joy Taylor and some of the others, and so it came out that they were talking about how, he was treating Tua and how important relationships are. And I'm like, wow. Like, did you listen to our show a year ago? When we gave you the examples of go ahead and adopt a dog and never give it any love and throw it in a corner. See how that relationship works out. Never tell your kid that you love them. We told you this like a year ago. We told you about all the relationship issues and all that stuff. And all that stuff that they were talking about on that show that I saw yesterday. Well, the clip that I saw, I didn't watch the show, but the clip that I saw, I'm like, this is all talked about a year ago when it was happening. You know, it's funny because I hear people, oh, we got to hear Flo's side of the story because we don't know. No, you don't know. Okay. Plenty of media members, you don't know, but I know. That's the part I love. Oh, no, well, we don't know. No, you don't know. But I know because I've been reporting it. I've been talking about it daily on the show. I told everybody he didn't want Tua. He wanted another quarterback. I couldn't tell you because I was sworn to secrecy, and I can't do it. So eventually Omar Kelly got the Jordan. Now everybody found out that, he wanted another quarterback. Meanwhile, where did you find out first? Those of you that were listening to the platform that he wanted another quarterback right here. After the fact stuff doesn't impress me. None of that impresses me. Tell me what's going on now. Give me the dirt if you're in Denver about what's going on behind the scenes with Hackett and Russ. Don't tell me a year or two from now, after everything was disassembled and everybody was cut, fired, or traded or whatever. Oh, you wouldn't believe that. Well, yeah, but why didn't you tell me then? Why didn't you have an opinion then? You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between our show and most everything else that's local in media. Pretty much on any other platform or radio station. It's funny, man. It's just weird how all this thing works out. Here's the other one. Big E, you out there, baby? So Big E, former NFL fan of the year, right? For the Dolphins. I think he was last year, right? Big E was last year, right? And then NorCal was the year before? Is that how it goes? I think it was. Well, anyway, Big E, much love out there, baby. And so Big E tweets out that video of Bart Scott that it comes out, and Bart Scott says, well, Tua's one hit away from joining Pat White in baseball, right? So you guys want to give him heat and all that. And by the way, go ahead. You can go after Bart Scott. You want all that, and he deserves the heat and all that good. But let me explain what Bart Scott is doing. Lots of other people are doing. Now, they didn't go in the direction of Bart Scott, but they still move the goalposts all the time. And so here we go. This is what happens when you get proven wrong or embarrassed, and you don't have the intelligence to accept the reality. And that's what's going on with Bart Scott. Like a lot of other people, they went out on such a limb on Tua. Oh, noodle arm. Oh, he can't play. Oh, he'll never be able to be successful in this league. Oh, this offense, obviously the problem is Tua. You had all those kind of comments. The absolutes, right? That's what we call them here on the show. The absolutes. And he was an absolute. So now that you've been absolutely proven wrong, right? That the absolutes have been absolutely proven wrong. So when you don't have the intelligence or the comprehension, I'll give it a great example. What did I tell you yesterday, if you listened to the show, about Tua's injury history and my ignorance on it? Remember that, Sean? I said, I thought Tua also coming out of college, oh man, you got to be afraid he's injury prone. And then, as a couple years gone by here, I realized he's not injury prone. Okay, injury prone is Yatil Green. Injury prone is Christian McCaffrey. Injury prone are the Bozas. People that are constantly getting injured. That's injury prone. I figured it out, right? My ignorance, but I'm smart enough to realize where I made my mistake. And then I corrected. And I said my ignorance was thinking that he was injury prone, and he wasn't. We finally figured out that all his major injuries came from what? Holding onto the ball 4 to 5 seconds. Who the hell does that? Only Ryan Tannehill does that. And that was the danger. And what's he been doing now? Getting rid of the ball. Okay? That if he continues to do that, he will keep himself alive. He will keep himself erect. I know your dirty minds are just going all over the place. Anyway, so Big E and lots of you out there are freaking out that Bart Scott is, the Tua's one hit away from Pat White in baseball. By the way, every quarterback's one hit away from that, Bart, just so you'll know. That's a stupid and lazy ass statement. But because Bart Scott was proven so wrong, okay, when you're not smart enough to accept it and say, I was wrong. This is why I was wrong. Now I understand it. Okay, let me look at it differently. But if you're not smart enough to do that and you're too ignorant, then you'll keep fighting the fight and you'll go deeper into the negative abyss. And as one guy said, well, Bart still deserves the heat. I said, go for it. But remember, ignorance doesn't have comprehension. So that's going to be a problem for you. Once they're ignorant, they're ignorant. You can't change that. You know what I mean? And Tua could be holding a trophy in the Super Bowl and winning it, and they would say he's just another Trent Dilfer. That's what Bart Scott's going to say. And this is what you get from people like Bart Scott, that there's a lot of them. The absolutes out there were so wrong on Tua that it's hard for some of them. There are some that, that like our boy Omar Kelly, who waffles like, Ego doesn't have as many waffles as Omar Kelly. Okay. Omar loved Tua. Then he completely got off the bandwagon, and now he's back on again. Joe Shad, same thing. Joe Shad picked Tua over Herbert early and then completely got off the bandwagon, said he was wrong, and now he's right back on it again. That's the waffling. And so, okay, they waffled, but at least they saw the light and they changed. So I give them credit for that. Cam and Marcel were like, I like him, but I got to see it first. And that's cool. But then you have the absolutes who just said from the get-go, too short, noodle arm, can't play, not tough enough, lazy, can't take tough coaching, plays too much golf, whatever. All those stupid things that they kept saying about. So all you're watching from Bart Scott is a guy that cannot admit that he was wrong, period. And guess what? You're going to be wrong a lot. Why? Because you're a human being. We're so imperfect. So we're going to get stuff wrong all the time. It's like I was telling you, I thought Tua was injury prone. That's the way I labeled him. Besides, I knew he can be a great quarterback. That was never my ever concern with him. Everybody knows that. My only concern that scared the crap out of me was he was injury prone. And then I had to understand it's not really injury prone. It's you're doing stupid things to get yourself injured. Okay. Get rid of the ball, Tua. Please get rid of the ball. That's all. Just get rid of the ball, man. That's it. And you're fine. You'll live. You'll live for the next play, the next series, the next game, the next season. Get rid of the ball. But if you don't have the comprehension, then you're not going to be willing to understand. And that's what you're getting from Bart Scott. So send them all the tweets you want. Go at him. He's probably just going to love it. Going to love the attention. And that's it. He's not going to care. We got a super chat here. Mr. Bonafide 861. Big O, you're reporting what was happening with Flores is how you got me following the platform. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. That is very nice. Those of you that were on this platform from last year, you have gotten the skinny right from the get-go on everything going on. We have not misled you one bit on everything that went on. with the whole Tua Flores mess. So it is what it is. What are you going to do? Lego my Omar. There we go. Omega spot on. I don't like the guy. Okay. You guys are slamming Omar. Omar's a great dude, by the way. Great dude. Okay. Great dude. Now, did he waffle on it? Yeah, it happens. Now that December is here, this team needs to get drunk on yak like McD promised in the summer, but hasn't happened. Vader's daddy, does it really matter how you win, my brother? Really? Is that what you're worried about? More yak? Don't worry about that, dude. Tua's got the highest per pass completion in the league at 9.1, I think it was, going into last week. I don't know where it's at now, if it stayed or went a little higher, because he did throw a lot of yards and a half. So yeah, it's I don't care how they win, my brother. I don't care if they yak or they don't yak, or they yakety yak and they do come back. I don't care what they do, bro. I don't care if they run the ball for 400 yards. Seriously, I don't care. I don't care if you won by giving Mike Gesicki end around after end around and he became a bigger size Deebo Samuel. I don't care. I don't care if Jason Sanders hits 14 field goals in a row. Would make me feel better about him. But I don't care if he hits 14 field goals in a row and they win. I don't care how they win. A win is a win is a win. All I want is two in the damn lineup, because then I know they've got a damn chance at it. That's it. So you can demand style points. I just want to win, and they're 8-3. That's all. To me, that's the pinnacle. Big O, that's absolutely classic. Ego doesn't have as many waffles. Yeah, there you go. Well, we try. We try to play with words throughout the show. You know how it is. We got to have some fun with it. Karen says, I would rather have the person that waffles. At least it shows some growth compared to those who are in denial and won't admit when they're wrong. I wanted Pitts and Najee Harris, for example. Whoops. There you go. Karen, we're all going to get it wrong. Every time. A lot of times. Tons of times. Half the time. Okay? But at least you got to admit when you're wrong, dude. I do it all the damn time here. When I'm wrong, I'll tell you, I was wrong on this. I screwed up. I didn't see it the right way. I do it all the damn. Yeah, am I going to tell you when I'm right? Hells to the yeah, I'm going to tell you when I'm right. Yeah, I'm going to tell you when I'm right. But I'm also going to tell you every time I'm wrong. Like, whoa, I got that one wrong. I know. What are you going to do? And that was like my ignorance on Tua's injury-prone label. It's unfair label to him. It's not really what he is. Edward Thurston, I'm not Hal, says, Big O, do you think that the Dolphins are doing enough to bring in offensive linemen? You don't want one position to ruin the whole season. Edward, I love you. Thank you for the super chat. They have 4 offensive linemen on the practice squad. What do you want? All 15 of them to be linemen? 4 out of, is it 15? Did I guess right, or 12? It's 13? It's a Marino? It's a baker's dozen? Yeah, I think they changed it. I think COVID changed it. Like, they went back to pre-COVID, right? I think is what it was. But, I mean, 4 out of whatever it is, 12 or 13 or 16, 4 out of 16 is 25% of your practice squad is offensive lineman, Edward. That's pretty good, dude. That 4 more is almost another line. I know. I mean, I'm not sure if you knew that. Maybe you didn't know that. I'll give you the names too, my brother, because we prepare on this show. Oh, where are we at here? Lamb, which they just signed, Kendall Lamb. They have Keon Smith, Lamonte Jallard, and James Empey. They've got 4 guys on the practice squad. I mean, Listen. One thing we should now all learn: we got a great front office, man. Our team here. If you're a Miami Dolphins fan, for the first time since the late 70s, okay, listen to me. For the first time since the late 70s, Shula lost his front office in the 80s. So those of you that aren't old enough, you're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, we all love Shula to death, and Shula overcame all kinds of mistakes throughout the 80s into the 90s, and he kept winning. But it finally caught up to him, eventually, and the salary cap and all of that. But his front office with Beathard and Young and those kind of guys from the 70s, it changed. He had an elite front office, and then as you have success, people then pick off your talent. And he lost his guys that helped him in personnel. And then that's why you traded Robin Sunline for Anthony Carter, and the Hugh Green trade was a disaster, unfortunately, because he blew out his knee. And then there's Kumaro, and there's Jay Brophy, and there's Boza, and there's Overstreet, and I mean, I can just go on and on and on and on and on and talk about the incredible, Sammy Smith and all the incompetent stuff that went on in personnel for Shula in the 80s into the early 90s. Okay? And I'm not being blasphemous here. I'm not trying to be I'm calling it like I see it. I know the history of the Dolphins. This is the first time, it seems like to me, that they have a front office, a head coach, and a franchise quarterback. Okay? In the 90s, the early part of the 90s and the 80s, they had the head coach and they had the quarterback. They didn't have a great front office. They made a lot of mistakes. Older fans know exactly what I'm talking about because they know the pain. They felt the pain like the rest of us did, one bad move after another, and we love Shula, dude. And that was part of the game's passing him by stuff. Let's be honest. That's what happened, unfortunately. And then the cap came in, and oh my God, that became another challenge for him. And then the Dolphins had cap problems. The two things that Jimmy did well was draft on defense and clear up the cap issues. Outside of that, Jimmy Johnson did not do anything else for the Dolphins. Okay? Nothing else. So this is the first time I can say since the 70s that the Dolphins have a front office, a head coach, and a franchise quarterback. That's how long it's been. So trust them. They got a lot of guys. They're working him, man. I mean, they found Brandon Shell, who has been pretty damn good. All right, pretty good on the right side. It's impressive, I got to say. By the way, we're out here at Hialeah Park, and Larry Little's Hall of Famers night is set for tomorrow night. You can't attend that, but you can attend the golf tournament, where you get all kinds of big-time names like Emmett Thomas and Mercury Morris and Bob Greasy and Dwight Stevenson, many others. Call them 954-867-6511. If you're free on Saturday and you want to become a part of the foursomes for the Larry Little Hall of Famers night, call them 954-867-6511 so you can find out more how you can be a part of the Larry Little Legends golf tournament on Saturday. Right. All right. Rosendo says, we had a great front office in the 60s. We just had a bad coach in Wilson. Right, yeah. And then into the 70s. Right, yeah. The front office for the Dolphins in those days. Remember, George Young left the Dolphins to build the Giants. And they won 2 titles. And then Beathard left to San Diego. And San Diego had success with Beathard. Those were all Dolphins. Just one of those things that, but old people know that kind of stuff. People that have Joe Thomas. Exactly. Thank you, Thomas. Figures a guy named Thomas remembers Joe Thomas. All those guys were here with the Dolphins, and they helped build the Dolphins. They helped Shula. And once Shula lost those personnel guys in the background, it was done. And so he was a great coach, and he got by with things. And he also ended up with a great quarter. You know, we also kind of got lucky with Marino. He threw a bunch of interceptions his senior year. There were cocaine rumors, and that he was a party guy, this, that, and that's why he fell. It was almost like, I mean, they took 5 quarterbacks before Marino. So it was almost dumb luck. Tom Brady, dumb luck. Look, Ron Wolf found quarterbacks like it was going out of style. You understand? That's different. That I know you can find quarterbacks. What has Belichick found? Tom Brady? Because everybody overlooked him and he lasted the 6th round? Is that what you're going to hang your hat on? You know, Bill Walsh, well, okay, fine. He drafted Montana and went and traded for Steve Young. He saw what others, I guess, didn't want it to do or whatever in Tampa. As bad as he looked, he said, no, let's bring him over here. Steve Walsh knew, Bill Walsh knew quarterbacks. I'm not going to tell you Belichick knows quarterbacks. Matt Castle? Really? What? Mac Jones now? Zappy? Is that what we're doing now? We're going to go back to, what's the guy that got injured at the beginning of the year for the Patriots? That has been there stealing money for many years and left to Cleveland and went back, and he's really mediocre. Brian Hoyer. That too? We're going there also? What have they drafted? Got lucky. And we got lucky with Marino. Let's be honest. You know, it just sometimes falls in your lap. What I do not understand is how Austin Jackson is still starting. Well, Carlos, they must see something, right? They must see something. Because this is not the other coaching staff. This is actually a coaching staff that, and listen, you weren't at training camp, but I was, and he was looking better. That's the guaranteed truth. He was looking better in training camp and the preseason. And then the injury, forget about it. And if you had a high ankle sprain, dude, if you're not healthy from that high ankle sprain and you're a lineman that you've got to use your legs and for leverage, it's not a good combination for Austin Jackson. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I would agree with you and say, yeah, what the hell's going on? If we were talking about the coaches from last year, these guys, I'm going to trust them. Just like I was telling the other guy when, we got to get more linemen, and I guess he didn't know that 25% of the practice squad is linemen. And you know they know what they're doing, man. If they can't find somebody, because it must be hard to find somebody at this point, but they're going to do their best, and that's what they've done all season long. Nico Jones says, you know how the Patriots finding Brady was dumb luck? It took Mo Lewis knocking Bledsoe for Brady to get playing time. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. And the rest was history after that. Yeah, you're correct. And remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. And of course, you can send in your question there on Cash App or Venmo. And remember, on Cash App, we love Bitcoin donations. So if you want to make a Bitcoin donation on Cash App, baby, you go ahead and do it. We love Bitcoin donations. And Bitcoin, by the way, is still holding right around, I think, around 17. What's that? What happened? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got going on?
I saw a comment that said Chris Greer's dad found Brady for New England.
I don't. It could be.
Well, no, I went to look up, and it said Bobby Greer hasn't been embraced by New England Patriots fans. Bill Belichick fired Greer in May of 2000 to install his vision of the front office. 2 weeks before Belichick dumped him, however, Greer played a role in helping the Patriots draft their greatest player.
Okay.
He made the call to Michigan and to talk with Lloyd Carr about him.
I'm not surprised.
So, I was just like, wait, I want to
That
take a
makes
look at it
sense.
because it was like,
Makes sense.
just
I
amazing.
mean, you know, I don't know if he would ever come out and say it, but, you know, that's something that, I would not be surprised. Chris does an excellent job. Dude, that family. His brother played in the NHL for a crap ton of time. I don't know how many years, 12, 14 years or whatever. He's a hell of a player. Chris Greer has been, you know, he's grown up in athletics his entire life, and he has paid his dues. You know, I would not be surprised. And his dad was in personnel forever. Yeah, it would not be surprising.
They talked with Chris Greer or Mike Greer, and he'll say he know about his dad. He'll never let me or anyone else know about it or talk about it.
Yeah.
But just being around him, talking to my brother, I know he's pretty proud of the draft class and Tom in particular.
By the way, does Chris Greer talk to anybody?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's
right. Chris Greer doesn't talk to anybody. So you're surprised that Mike Greer is not going to tell anybody? So, you know, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. You know why? Like I just told you, if you're so good at finding quarterbacks, you'll find another. That's all. You'll find another. And I'm not saying that you're number one overall in the draft and, you know, Andrew Luck falls in your lap. Like, okay.
And it was James Steele in the chat, just to give credit to who is offering.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Ethan Sanjurjo. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Very nice of you. And next up is Gus1388. Thank you, sir. He says, don't forget Bobby Beathard helped Joe Gibbs build the Redskins in the 80s too. Yes, exactly. Right. Beathard did Miami, the Redskins, and then went on to San Diego. You are correct. I mean, it's very important to remember that in the history that as much as we love Shula, he suffered a lot in personnel because he just didn't have the people around him like he used to. Ethan again, he says, Big O, do you think Houston was a good game for the defense to gain a bunch of confidence in sacking and creating turnovers heading into the Niners? I just think they're getting better overall as a defense. I don't think it has anything to do with Houston. That I think that front seven is getting better. Like Jalen Phillips is growing before our eyes. If you watch the games, watch them. Jalen's right there, dude. Right there. It's just a part of this process. And we have in this microwave society, and we got people, you know, they called him a bust early last year, and then he took off and played well. And this year there were people, oh, yeah, he ain't nothing, this and that. And it's like, you're not really watching. I get he doesn't have the big sack numbers, but if you watch, he's hurrying, he's pressuring, he's almost there. And now he's starting to get some of those sacks. And I think that's what's going to happen again this year, where he'll just kind of grow. I keep reminding people that Jason Taylor didn't turn into Jason Taylor, really showing the signs in year 3 and then really into year 4. But whatever, you know. Can't change the ignorance, remember. It will not comprehend as we go full circle. Karen, thank you for the love on the super chat, and thank you for the dedication, as always, to the platform. I always see your name all over the place, so thank you. I get impatient because Greer is never aggressive enough, but he continues to prove me wrong. Not aggressive enough. You really didn't say that, did you? Not aggressive enough. You want more trades? He's the number one trader in the world. Nobody in the stock market trades more than he does. Yes, sir.
You have to remember who we're talking to, though. These are the fans that as soon as somebody becomes available, Dolphins should pick up everybody. As soon as somebody is, you know.
The guy that just traded for Chubb and Wilson.
Yeah.
The guy got rid of Chase Edmonds.
But he didn't get the 17 free agents in the offseason.
The guy that got the Laramie Tunsil trade and traded and made it like half a team.
Yeah.
The guy that just continues to find Brandon Shell off the street and and Cater Kohu and, moves off the field, away from the draft, free agency trades, the Waddle trade up and trade down and pick up an extra pick along the way and still get the player you want in Waddle. How is he not overly aggressive? He's not aggressive. He's overly aggressive.
Can I hit it?
Yes, please.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
Jesus. I'm so happy that we have a front office that is making moves left and right, brother. That's the reason why you're 8-3, because they've been incredibly aggressive. Wow. Yeah, sorry, my man. You could not read that one right. You read that one really, really wrong.
I just think it goes back to where there was 19 free agents, and we didn't get all 19.
Wow.
So he's not aggressive enough.
No, I know. We just got the best one.
Yeah, no, man. But yeah, hey. Well, we left 18 on the table, though. It's not aggressive enough. We should have everybody.
Yeah.
We're only allowed a 53-man roster, but all of them should be high-paid free agents.
It's awesome. That is awesome. Not aggressive enough. That's a trip right there. That one gets me. You got me on that one. Wow, haven't seen one of those alerts in a while. Yeah, well, that one we needed. And James Steele, you are correct. Greer is he should be executive of the year. I'd give it to him. Paul in Connecticut is in the house. All I want to win is a playoff game for once, please. I'll do anything for that. Paul, I can already tell you, you're invited to my party in Arizona for the Super Bowl week. Just want you to know, Paul. Okay? We'll make a guest list down the line, but I just want to throw it out to Paul because I've known Paul for several years now. He's like his dedication, it was before this platform. He's been listening to me in the QAM days and all the post-game shows and all that stuff. And I think I've met Paul, I believe, over at the stadium, I think, when you've come for visiting for games or something like that. So Paul's a special dude. I know he's a die-hard. It's killing him. He wants to win badly. So, Paul, you're one of those guys I'm inviting over to the Super Bowl party at my house in Arizona. Let's see. Bethel, great pickup. Exactly.
Yeah, but he's not screaming at us. He doesn't have it in all caps. What's going on with caps?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Usually it's all in capital letters.
And by the way, Boyer found Kohu, which you are 1,000% correct. Here's the question I have for you. Are you ready? Would Flo allow Boyer to draft or sign a player he wants? Okay, we've had that conversation now. We're done, right? Okay, good. Okay, that's it. That's all. I just want to clear it up. That's all. Okay? The guy that tells Greer, hey, get rid of Flowers. But we just signed him last year. We're going to take a cap. I don't care. I want to go young. Kyle Van Noy. We just signed him. No, I don't want him. Get him out of here. The guy that didn't want Tua. So Josh Boyer is going to walk over to him and say, I like this guy, Cater Kohu from Division II. And Flo's going to put his arm around him and say, Josh, man, let's go. Let's go get him, man. I trust you, man. Leadership, buddy. Greer, of course, did not pick every single player that's been drafted, signed, trade for, all of that. The part of leadership is actually empowering the people around you to be the best that they can be, because that's what makes your organization the best. What doesn't make you the best is when Randy Mueller says, here are all my draft profiles, Coach Saban. And he says, oh, that's nice. Here are mine. Bam. And right there, Randy Mueller was neutered. So you ask yourself now, again, is Greer a badass or not? There you go. That's what great leaders do. They're egoless in that sense. You have an ego that you have conviction when you want to draft somebody, Tua. But if you have somebody else that really likes a player, Jeff Wilson, all right, coach, you like Jeff Wilson? We'll trade for him. See what I'm saying? So that's part of being a great executive, a great leader. You know, whether it's Beathard or Bill Walsh or Howie Roseman or whatever, if they're great leaders, they didn't pick all the players. I'll give you an example. Here's a ignorant example. I've told this story before. Did you know Jimmy Johnson did not want Troy Aikman? Did you know that? So Jimmy didn't want to trade Troy Aikman. And if it wasn't for, oh God, no, I always forget the man's name, Gil Brandt. So Gil Brandt was still with the Cowboys at that time because Jimmy had just taken over, haven't cleared out yet, and guys haven't left and all that stuff. So Gil Brandt stands on the podium, not on the podium, like on the table there, and says, "Hey, you got to take Troy Aikman. That's the best player in this draft. You got to take him." Jimmy, from the UCLA days in Oklahoma where he broke his leg and went to UCLA and all that kind of stuff, he wasn't a big Troy Aikman believer. But to his credit, okay, and it's still kind of an ignorant story, but to his credit, even if he didn't like Troy Aikman, he saw the reaction from the people in the room. And there were several people that stood up next to Gil and said, "No, Jimmy, we really believe in this player. This is the guy." So they take Troy Aikman. A month later, or 2 months later, I think, is the supplemental draft. Jimmy didn't like Troy Aikman, so he used a first-round pick in the supplemental draft to take Steve Walsh, his quarterback from the University of Miami. He got lucky that he was still able to unload him to Chicago a year later after he found out, oh, yeah, Troy's the guy. Let me trade him. But he still didn't believe it, that he still had to cover his ass, and he went and get Troy Aikman. It's the same thing that happened in Washington. I've told you guys this story many times. Shanahan did not want RG3. It was the owner that wanted RG3. He was marveled with RG3, loved his personality and all of that. And as you see, RG3, he's perfect for television. He's done a marvelous job with that. You know what Shanahan wanted? Kirk Cousins. So the owner drafted RG3 in the first round, and he drafted Cousins in the fourth round in the same draft. Part of being a great leader is also being able to give the people around you, empower them, give them responsibility. And that's how you become great. Like Cutter's Edge Pro, they are great. I've witnessed it. My yard looks absolutely fantastic. The landscaping is second to none all over the place. Trees and all kinds of flowers, and the grass is growing, and I've got the artificial turf in the back where the dogs are running around all over the place. It's a beautiful thing. You got to check it out, man. Listen, if you're kind of tired looking at your yard and there's no life to it, then you got to call the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro. If you've got dogs like I do, and man, you're tired of that yard being a disaster, call Cutter's Edge Pro. The dogs will not kick up dirt anymore. They'll not tear up your grass anymore after they go to the bathroom. And on top of all of that, they're not going to bring any more dirt in your house, which is a beautiful thing. It is so easy to maintain. And you're not watering the lawn every day and cutting the grass every, 2 weeks in South Florida, right? What about 2 weeks, right? Because of all the damn rain. So every 2 weeks you're cutting the grass. That's a lot of money you're saving over the years. Call the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro right there, 954-472-0622. Artificial turf, landscaping, outdoor lighting, tree trimming, removals. They do it all. If you got this big-ass tree you need removed, and maybe it's getting rotten or something, or you got some trees that are close to power lines, don't go doing it yourself. Call professionals. Fully insured professionals from CuttersEdgePro.com. Ask for Will, ask for Mike. Tell them that Big O sent you. 954-472-0622. Check out their show on WIOD Sundays at noon. All right. And even something that's incredibly impressive, Cutter's Edge Pro on Instagram. So you can see the work they do every single day of their lives. cuttersedgepro.com. All right. Flores set this franchise back 2 years. It's amazing and underrated how fast they recovered. Yeah, you're right, Brooklyn Rob. You are right. You're 1,000% right. And thank you for the tip there, Brooklyn Rob. I like the app, man. It's pretty cool. Been working it, so it's good. I like it. Big O, I think some of the fans got dropped on their heads at birth. Greer is the best GM in the NFL right now. He is doing an awesome job. Roseman in Philadelphia, Greer here in Miami. Obviously, Kansas City has done a marvelous job to continue, their run. You look at the Rams. They got their title, and they're falling apart now. I saw a story. It says the Rams now don't think they're going to get OBJ. And I'm like, why would he go there? Like, why would you want to go to Los Angeles right now? It's like, really? Like, this is a story? Like, they really think they have a shot? Like, he's going to try to go somewhere where he can win. You're going to go to Buffalo. What is it, the Giants, the other one? And again, right, exactly. It's Buffalo you got to go to. I mean, if you're going to play for 2 or 3 weeks before you get injured again for the rest of the year, go to Buffalo.
Or the Cowboys, right? And the Cowboys thrown in there now?
Yes, the Cowboys. Yeah, so it's Buffalo or the Cowboys.
I think it's one of those two, yeah.
Yeah, he'll go to one of those because he is a knucklehead.
Yeah.
That's a place for knuckleheads. Okay.
But I think if the Giants overpay him, he'll go back there. Again, if they overpay him. I don't think he's taking any, because the good story is him going back to finish out in
Yeah,
New York,
I just don't think the Giants will overpay him at all.
No,
the Mara family.
That's the only way you go there because you don't expect them to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no,
you're not going there to win a championship.
They're frauds. Yeah. They're frauds. I love what Dable's done, but I just don't believe in the offense. I don't believe in the quarterback. Mo, thank you very much, man. Very nice of you. Super chat. 20 plus years of watching the Fins this year felt different, and it is different. I can only imagine how Tua and the team will develop in the coming years. Everyone needs to stop complaining and enjoy the ride. Now, remember, Mo, I love you, brother. Thank you. We're not all complaining. There's a lot of people on the board. There's a lot of people downloading the platform. There's a lot of people that are super happy, and they're in the same place I am and Sean is right now with our Dolphins. We're extremely happy. We're just concerned about Teron Armstead this week. That's like the legitimate thing. Can they get Teron back? Because then they can perform at a really high level against San Francisco. But that's the thing. The complainers, they're loud, but they are the minority. Okay? Don't kid yourself on that one. They are the minority. All right, let's take a quick break. And when we come back in 2 minutes, Marcel Louis-Jacques will join us, baby, and our myedgedrink.com Miami Dolphins report.
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welt Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welt Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slomin's, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
There we go. Was that the open was on and yet we were on? That was kind of weird. Like the open was going, but we weren't watching the open. We were on.
Was it?
Marcel and I were both like looking down, and I'm looking up, and the words of the open going on, but there was no video to it.
I was proud because I was getting the injury report off, trying to like hit send before they said Marcel Louis-Jacques. I think I got it right at the buzzer. So
okay. Clutch.
I was not watching.
Clutch. You're a hell of a lot more clutch than the Heat were last night. So that's a good job by you, at least. How you doing?
Yeah.
How you feeling? You feeling good?
I'm good, man. Look, to commemorate the return to California, I've got the Sacramento, the Mike Bibby John on still. This might be the last time I ever wear it because it feels like a training bra right now. I had it when I was in middle school, but you know, some things you can't throw away, bro. Some things you can't throw away. This was the first time.
That's when he was good. Yeah, that's when Bibby was a really good player in those days. You know, we have terrible Mike Bibby history here because he was part of the 2010 team, and it was like, okay, they have no pieces around these guys. You know, because everybody thinks that the quarterback can do it all by himself. You know, they don't need pieces. Just like they thought that the big three needed no help also. And then they found out, yeah, we need to go get like a Battier and a Ray Allen. And, you know, we need to add some pieces even around the big three. Because, you know, it's just the way it is. It's a team sport, even though we want to phrase it like one guy can do it all.
Yeah. Look, in basketball, I think one guy can carry you a lot further than one guy can carry you in football.
Oh, yeah.
But
you're not winning a title.
You're not probably like, the case in point, Allen Iverson, right? In what was it, 2001?
Right.
I mean, name me two players of value besides Iverson on that Sixers team. Eric Snow
and Mutombo.
Aaron McKee, Mutombo, the ghost of Mutombo.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Matt Geiger.
See, that's the problem. The problem with that example, it's an aberration. It's not really an example because it's not common even to get there with one guy. It's not even common. Yeah. And so that's the thing. It's not common. Well, you know, that rarely does happen. In college, one guy can carry you to a title.
Kemba.
Yeah, no, and Danny Manning, and it's happened before where guys can carry you. Glenn Rice had a couple of decent players around him, but he pretty much carried them to the title.
Melo at Syracuse.
Melo also carried again. He might have had one or two guys that were decent, but he carried that entire team. In college you can do it, but not in the NBA. By the way, no longer in college because there's no longer any stars anymore in college. So
yeah, college. It's hard to watch college basketball. It's hard to really get into it until
I can't
until the tournament. It just I don't feel like learning new rosters every year. There's 130 freaking teams, man. Like you really have to be into it to be into it. Like I used to like UCLA basketball back in the day with like Aaron Aflalo and Jordan Farmar, but I have not followed it closely since. And ASU basketball refuses to really hook me. So
yeah, no, it's all college. It's such a low level of basketball at this point to what I grew up with in the 80s and the 90s that it's just unwatchable to me. I got spoiled, dude. I watched Michael Jordan for 3 years and Patrick Ewing for 3 and 4 years and Mutombo and Ronnie Cycli. And I watched UNLV and Duke go at it for 2 straight years with teams that were loaded with NBA players. And I watched an entirely different college basketball and the shit that's on now. And I'm sorry for the French, but I am not impressed by anything that goes on in college basketball at this point. To me, it's just a notch just above high school. And that's it, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So let's put a percentage on it now. From 1% to 100. What do you think about Teron Armstead actually giving it a go?
2 straight DMPs to start the week, but it almost doesn't really count with him because he doesn't necessarily practice anyways. Respectfully, of course. 100 being certainty. I can't go 100. I can't go 90. I can't go 80. I'd maybe give it a 60. Maybe a 60. Maybe even closer to 55. 55, 45 to him playing. That is not what I think he should do. That's what I think he ends up trying to do. I don't think it's a good idea. I think you sit him this week. It sucks. It's going to suck, man. It's going to suck. Nick Bosa might live in that backfield. But the risk of him playing and fully tearing it, and then you lose him, there goes your Super Bowl run. That's not going to happen anymore. Like, respectfully, that's not happening anymore unless, you wait for Austin Jackson to maybe get healthy and you throw him at left tackle. You don't have a left tackle right now.
I don't even know how that guy gets healthy now because if he re-aggravated the same high ankle sprain, that's not good, dude.
It was same ankle but different injury. I think that was what they
said.
That's what McDaniel said. So same ankle, different injury, which still isn't good. But
did he say that today?
He said that Monday.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he said that Monday. No. It was either Monday or Sunday.
Injury.
Yeah, it was either Sunday or Monday. One of those two. But I think you sit him, you eat it for a week. You eat it for a week. Bring him on the road trip. See if maybe he can tough it out against the Chargers. But it is not something. This isn't a must-win game right now. Like I love what he said yesterday, calling it 117 of the season. It's just the 17th of the season, man. And look, when you look at the other games, the Bills can lose tonight. They can lose tonight.
Would be nice.
Be nice for Miami. It would make things a hell of a lot more interesting in the AFC East because then the Patriots only a game or so behind.
I just don't see that Patriots offense having the success they need against that Buffalo defense. That's my only issue with it. I can see it being a game because the Patriot defense can play, and then Josh hasn't been sharp. But my problem is on the other side, I don't. That Patriot offense is not. It's after the running back. I don't fear anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like the running back's a pretty good player, but outside of that, I don't really fear their passing game at all, dude. Like,
I don't either. I don't think it's likely that they win tonight. I'm saying like it's not a foregone conclusion that game is over. Like anything can happen in this division. The Jets play the Vikings. The Jets could lose easily to the Vikings. Like this isn't like this isn't a must win right now for you. The Chargers game is a little more important. It's a lot more important. Bills game is a hell of a lot more important. as are Patriots and Jets to end the season. So, like, you don't need to force it right now. Let him rest because you need this guy. You don't have the playoffs locked up yet. Like, I think there's still – I mean, all I've seen covering the Dolphins are streaks. So, like, I'm very aware it's possible to go on a 5-game losing streak or whatever and knock you out of playoff contention. Like, it's within the realm of possibility. You don't have a locked-in playoff spot yet, but you are in a good enough position that you can plan for the playoffs. You have to plan for the future. So, yeah, I think sit him this week. Just eat it, man. Get the ball out fast against San Francisco and live to fight another day. Look forward to Sunday night.
The only thing I would disagree with part of your statement there is the Dolphins are not a streaky team. You're making it sound like a streaky team.
I said all that I have covered from this team. I have covered a 7-game losing streak, then a 7-game winning streak, then a 3-game losing winning streak, then a 3-game losing streak, then a 5-game winning streak. Like, I'm not saying they're streaky, but that is all that I have covered. I am saying I am aware of the possibilities of streaks in the NFL, just to accentuate the fact that the playoffs are not a foregone conclusion right now.
I get it. It's just this team is completely different than the other teams. And the only reason they had a 3-game losing streak was because they were missing their quarterback. It's not because the other streaks you're talking about really had nothing to do really with injuries. They were either bad for a stretch or good for a stretch. And that's just the way it goes. The Dolphins have been good all throughout. Problem is they can't overcome the loss of their quarterback now. So here's the challenge now, the next big challenge, right? Because we've noticed that the guys that are irreplaceable are Tua and Teron Armstead. So now we're going to find out if you can win without Teron Armstead. By the way, didn't Teron Armstead miss another game? Was it during the Tua injury streak?
It was the Vikings game, I believe. Right. Yeah, it was Vikings because he stayed in New York City to go see a specialist after the Jets game. That game was ugly, but they still – Skyler plays the full game. I think Skyler wins. If Skyler or Teddy played the full game, you know what I mean, then they win. Like if the guy who practiced and prepared all week as the starter played the full game, then they beat the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are very good.
No, me neither. I think the Vikings are all right. I just don't buy the quarterback in the key situations.
The Vikings are all right. I don't think the Vikings are better than the Dolphins. I guess what I'm trying to say. Like we are now in week. What are we in? 13.
Yes,
we're in week 13 now. It's fair to like the Dolphins are who they are at this point. Like we're very far into the season. I don't think that they're gonna fool anybody. I don't think they just fooled everybody for the first 3 months. Like I think that this is what they are. They're a high-powered offensive team. And you know what? Actually. Because I think I still have the stat pulled up from the story I just wrote before I hopped on here. A lot has been said about their defense, right? You know, defense, they're average. They're not good. They give up this, that, and the third. I found an interesting stat today. The Dolphins have allowed the seventh fewest explosive plays on defense this year.
Yeah, but but don't do that. No, I don't want you to do that because now we've got the people that are bashing Josh Boyer, and you're now giving them reasons to love Josh Boyer. I mean, you're coming in with common sense, Marcel. What is wrong with you?
Like that, it's interesting. It's interesting, right? You would think banged up secondary, no pass rush, like that's a recipe for disaster, but they didn't give up. They're not giving up explosive plays. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me try to sort by differential here. They got the 6th best explosive play differential in the NFL. Offense to defense. So like that's the kind of defense that you want. Like you can nickel and dime and give up yards as long as you lock up in the end zone or lock up in the red zone and take the ball away. Like that's what's made the Dolphins great on that side of the ball the past, let's call it 2 years, 3 years. They gave up plenty of yards. Mm-hmm. You lock in the red zone and you take the ball away, and all of a sudden those yards look real empty.
I'm with you.
That's what they gotta get back to here. Is like they need those turnovers. They need those turnovers, and they had them 2, 3 against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
They've just gone too many stretches without taking the ball away, and that's where the underbelly of their defensive strategy kind of starts to show a bit. But no, man, I like we said after the game, the Bradley Chubb experiment is really starting to churn. It's really starting to click. And
that's an elite pass rusher, bro. That's an elite pass rusher. That's why.
Game 4. This is game 4. He's been here a month. Should be comfortable enough. I think there's a chance of really seeing something special from him in San Francisco, or should I say Santa Clara, come Sunday.
Right. I'm with you. And Sean, I'm now thinking I should sign with the Dolphins and play left tackle. I could do this. You know why? Listen, I was the left tackle for Tua for a couple of years now. I pancaked every son of a bitch out there. Now I'm right. For a couple of years, I've been left tackling for Chris Greer. I'm pancaking fools left and right. Now they know that he's the shit. And now this year, I've been left tackling for Josh Boyer all year because I got people coming at me telling me, oh, he's terrible, fire him. And I'm like, yo, dude, you want to go after Crossman? I'm fine. You better leave Boyer alone. He's done a terrific job this year. He has lost practically 60% of his secondary, and his other corners play with 1 or 2 groin injuries. The only guy that's healthy is Javon Holland, and somehow or another he's keeping all this thing afloat. So I got to tell you something. I don't think there's a tackle in town that pancakes more people than I do. So I'm ready.
Yeah, Holland really might be the only healthy member of the secondary. I mean, Kohu played in a cast last game, so like he's in a cast. X is dealing with groin injuries. Like,
by the way, is it the hand that he holds the lightsaber with?
No, I have no confirmation on whether it is his lightsaber hand.
It's important, bro. It's important because if the Imperial Starship shows up and we've got to fight him, we need Darth Vader ready for this, bro. Okay. So,
but it is. I think it's a thumb thing. That's what he's listed on the injury report, full participant today, but does have that thumb designation. That's where the cast is. That's where the cast is holding in place.
Have you seen the Darth Vader poster?
I have not.
Really? Do you have it there, Sean? The Darth Vader poster? Can you show it to him? I got one coming. We're gonna put it in the studio. It is freaking awesome. You're a Star Wars geek like I am, aren't you? Aren't you a young Star Wars geek?
I was literally just watching Andor today, trying to finish up season 1.
I haven't started yet. I have to watch it. Is it good?
It's very good. I've been pleasantly surprised with by how good this Star Wars content has been without Jedi and lightsaber battles involved. Like The Mandalorian has, I think, one lightsaber scene. I'm not going to say which one, just in case you haven't seen it, because it's an awesome scene. It's got one lightsaber scene. Mandalorian is like the best Star Wars show out there. Bad Batch is good. Clone Wars is Jedi heavy, but I haven't finished Boba Fett, but what I've seen is good. Andor's been good. Rogue One might be the best. Yeah. Rogue One might be the best Star Wars movie, period. And that has one.
It's fun.
Arguably sick, but one lightsaber scene in it. So I am happy with what they did, because I was skeptical. It was like, Star Wars. Like, I'm trying to see all that, but okay. I kind of expected like him in the Darth Vader suit.
Well, he's there in the background, but but he's there. You gotta look close. But he's there. They got him there. See him in the back on the right side. He's turned around and says Kohu. You see his helmet on the right side. You don't see it there?
No, I see both of them. Okay. I'm saying, like, I kind of expected him, like, his head on Darth Vader's body. That would have sold it. Yeah. Or like Black Dolphins gear with the teal lightsaber or the orange lightsaber. I don't know, man. I'm not in graphic design. But
I think we got him to battle, because he's our Cater, so we're out to battle and take down Darth. So we need Cater to take down Darth, because that's just the way it goes. So that's kind of what it is, So we wait for the big lightsaber fight between Kohu and Darth. And then there will be only one Vader left, and we know it's going to be Kohu, of course, because he's got the skill set. So let me ask you, what are you doing if he does not play? How do you handle the offensive line this week? What would be the plan? You and I know you'll never guess what the hell McDaniel's going to do anyway. So let me just help you be wrong, because that's what we all are every time we try to guess what McDaniel's going to do. So you try to guess what he's actually going to do.
I mean, I think your hands are kind of tied there. You go Little at left tackle, Shell at right tackle, Kendall Lamb as the swing, your first man in if one of them gets hurt.
Not Keon? Not Keon? Because Keon's gotten activated a couple
times. They just signed Kendall Lamb more or less for this kind of opportunity. It's not an awesome outlook, I would say. Like, respectfully, it's not your ideal outlook. It's not your best 5 by any means, but that's kind of, again, your hands are tied. That's what your roster is. You can hope to have a good backup tackle. You can have a decent backup swing tackle, but you're never going to be fully comfortable with who you're putting in replacement of your starting left tackle. Like, you're not. I think they were blessed with Brandon Shell's play over the past month or so. Kind of finding him off the street essentially and plug him in the right tackle. It's rare. That kind of transition, that kind of seamlessness is rare. But I think just you put Greg Little in, you put Shell in, you grab Greg Little by the helmet and say, just stay in front. Just stay in front of him. Just stay in front of him. Tua's going to get the ball out fast. Just stay in front of Nick. 97. Find him.
You make it sound like it's really easy.
It's not at all, but just please, just for a second, just for a second and a half, just do your best. Do your best, and we'll scheme around it. We'll scheme around it from there. Maybe keep Ingold in, so we see a little less, 11 personnel with 3 wide out. Maybe keep Ingold in there just to shade protection over to Bosa's side. But put Durham Smythe over there. Just do whatever you can to make sure 97 is accounted for at all times. Like how teams need to know where 10 is, how defenses need to know where 10 is.
Mm-hmm.
Is this offense needs to know where 97 is. That man is a monster. That man is a monster, dude. Tua went, with the exception of the second half last week, he ain't had to wash his jersey, since with the Steelers game. Like, it's been that clean. You can just spray Febreze on it and keep it pushing. That thing's gonna get a little dirty. It's gonna get a little dirty on Sunday, man. Respectfully, it ain't really a whole lot. He's one of those guys. There's not really a lot that you could do about it. Nick Bosa is gonna get his licks. You're not gonna shut him out an entire game without Teron Armstead. If Armstead was there, I've seen what he did with Myles Garrett. I would be confident, okay, Nick Bosa might actually be neutralized here a little bit. But it's gonna be a battle. That's gonna be something to really watch for, and it's really gonna impact. It's gonna impact how routes develop and what Mike's play calling, what his play calling is. Thankfully for Dolphins and the Dolphins fans, he literally just came from this team. It's the same defense, the same defensive scheme, same players, same coordinator. He should know how to counteract it. If anybody on this planet knows how to counter their defense, it'll be Miami. And I think, you watch a little bit of what Mahomes and the Chiefs were able to do. You've got similar weapons. You've got a passing offense capable of doing what KC did to San Francisco. The blueprint is there. The blueprint is there.
Any key injuries for San Francisco?
I believe Armstead. McCaffrey had some knee discomfort, or I forget what exactly they called it yesterday. I'm not entirely sure. McCaffrey is one to really watch for. I believe Elijah Campbell is hurt as well. If McCaffrey for some reason can't play, that would be incredibly ironic, right? Since they just traded their backup to Jeff Wilson, who was unhappy when they decided to trade for McCaffrey in the first place. So these are things to watch for. I'm keeping an eye on my Niners counterpart at ESPN, Nick Wagner. If you don't have tweet notifications on for him, I would do so. And, try to stay
I'm shocked. Christian McCaffrey's injured? Guy's never injured. I mean, he's always ready to play.
He was perfect. He was of perfect health until he wasn't.
Yeah, until he plays.
He was of perfect health until he was. I remember, when I covered the Panthers, I had an entire story on it. Because people were so concerned about his usage because of his snap count, and I compared his snap count to his actual usage count. And North Turner was brilliant in that last year of Cam being even remotely effective as a quarterback. They just had McCaffrey on the field. It was just a decoy because his usage was below guys like Todd Gurley, who was nice that year. Todd Gurley and Alvin Kamara and like all of these, premier running backs in the NFL, Saquon. But his snap count was extremely high because they had nobody else on that side of the ball to spell with him. So, I think that's C.J. Anderson or something like that. So, I ever since then, but after that season, he had his 1,000 in 2019, and then his usage has just been through the roof ever since. And they're beating him Carolina beat him into the dirt a little bit there. But that's the beauty of the Niners offense is like they don't have to give it to him 20 times a game. He's a very expensive player to not touch the ball 20 times a game. Don't get me wrong, but you've got McCaffrey, you've got Elijah Mitchell when he's healthy. You've got Deebo Samuel, you got Brandon Ayuk, you got George Kittle. I mean, like there's so many weapons to spread the ball around to that you would be doing McCaffrey a disservice by, force feeding him.
Yeah, no, but I still think they gave up way too much for a guy that's that injury prone. That would be a guy that would scare me to give up that many picks for a running back too. On top of all of that, that's one position where you're not going to be able to avoid contact. I mean, it's just impossible to avoid contact, and unless you're Warwick Dunn or Barry Sanders, that you have that gift that you can spin and avoid, killer shots.
Second, third, and fourth round picks in 2023, and a fifth round pick in 2024, and I'm guessing they got a pick back for it too, right?
I don't even know if they got a pick back, but it's a lot of picks they gave up for that dude, and I'm sure they're gonna have to. I don't know if it is it. Does he have a current contract or does he need a new one? Is that coming up? I'm not sure.
No, he's signed. A matter of fact, I think his big money is just kicking in either this year or last.
All right. Well, they didn't pay the signing bonus then. Carolina did, so they got a break there because, as you know, that always comes at the beginning. And so if Carolina signed them to that deal, at least they got the burden off of the. So they're only paying salary. They're not paying any of the bonuses. That was already up front. So that's good.
Yeah, it looks like it was just McCaffrey.
Wow.
It was remarkably, I've clicked on 4 links, after just Googling McCaffrey trade, and none of them have the full damn terms of it. But it looks like it was just picks. It looks like it was just McCaffrey in exchange for picks.
What's your prediction? What happens?
It's tough, man. I have a policy to never pick against the team I cover, just because it's not worth the vitriol if I pick against them and I'm wrong, and I'm not going to feel bad if I pick them to win and I'm wrong. I think it's obviously Miami's toughest test of the season. I think there's a path to victory. I think that odds makers giving San Francisco a 4-point, making them 3.5, 4-point favorites at home. They're essentially calling this game a push. It's going to come down to little things: turning the ball over, field position, efficiency on third down. But it's going to be a fight. If they win this one, I will not, leave my coworkers alone. I'll say that. The ones that don't necessarily deserve it, leave my coworkers alone. But I will sit back and watch y'all talk your shit for a week if they go into San Francisco and they beat this Niners team, particularly if they look dominant doing it. So I think it's a I think it's
if they win, they should be entitled to talk all the shit they want to talk.
Yeah, basically. Like this is not giving y'all a damn pass from my mind to a pass from me to go at my coworkers, but like I will understand the beating your chest if the Dolphins go into San Francisco and win this game. Like this is the one. There's no, but Jordan Poyer and Michael Hyde didn't play. There's it was the Lions. There's it was the Bears. It's the Steelers offense. Oh my God, the Browns are bad. Okay, you beat the Texans. What the hell are you gonna say if Miami beats the Niners? What can you say? This is one of the best teams on either side of the ball.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, this was you want to win. You want a win where people have no comeback. They have no comeback. Is this one right here?
Is their secondary the weakness on the defense?
Miami's?
No, San Fran's.
I mean, maybe by default, but that Ofunga kid there's Tua called him similar to Troy Polamalu, and considering their culture, I think that might be a bigger compliment than we are making it, an even bigger compliment than we're making it right now.
Is he the entire secondary? Can you attack those corners?
I think you can attack the corners, but I think you can attack the corners, but I think so much of what Miami does on offense is rhythm and timing based. And stay with me, comments. It's rhythm and timing based. You still need to be sharp, and you still need to be able to anticipate, like Tua does, those throws we were talking about on Sunday, where his back is to the defense. And he turns around and within half a second knows exactly where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of throws that against an instinctual safety like Ofunga, he might get himself in trouble. He might get himself in trouble once, at least once. So I think it's going to be like that's a guy you have to be aware of where he's at on all sides, like at all times, because he's somebody who it might be hard to look off. Or he's going to play. If he notices Tua looking left, he's going to look right and make sure, okay, who's coming, who's crossing on this side of the field? Let me cheat over so that when he tries to snap back to the other side of the field after thinking he's looked us off, I'm going to be there to make a play. So like he's not a guy that you mess around with, man. This Ofunga kid, he's athletic, he's fast. I think he's topped out at 22, 23 miles per hour. Not 23, 22 miles per hour as a ball carrier. So just that's where I'm looking in the secondary. Raging Dolphins says they haven't played a team like us yet. They kind of have.
Yeah, they lost to Kansas City.
Yeah, they just it didn't end well for them. But they have. Yeah. They got whooped on by Kansas City.
Yeah.
So
So I'm saying I think that's the one area that if they can just give the kid 2.5 seconds, I think they're going to have their chance to make plays against us because you can't stay with Waddle and Tyreek. They're going to find a hole in the defense one way or another. So I think that will be the key in this entire game is getting rid of the ball quickly and using those two monsters to actually, really find holes in the defense and keep moving the chains. I think you'll be all right. You can at least compete that way. That's the way I see it. What are you working on ESPN so Dolphin fans can check you out, Marcel Louis-Jacques?
So 2 things here. One, what I'm working on, just filed today, my Nick Wagner and myself, instead of focusing on the McDaniels returning to the 49ers, we're focusing on how these teams have beaten their opponents. Like they uses power on offense, one uses speed and finesse, but they've both been elite in doing so. And so like it's a 2-angle story from both sides, kind of explaining like how they got here, how they assembled the team, and a couple of points, a couple of little stats, little interesting notes about what makes them special. I think it's a cool angle. I'm not sure exactly when it's coming out, either tomorrow or Saturday, but I'll share it whenever it does drop. And also, we didn't talk about it today, but it is projected to be rainy. It's not going to be freezing like it was in Tennessee, but it's a big opportunity for Tua.
Oh, God.
To shut some people up. Once again, it's the shut up tour. Everybody says you can't throw in the cold. He can't throw in the rain.
Yeah,
my bold prediction of the week. I'm finishing.
That's just another stupid
week.
By people.
My prediction of the week, bold prediction of the week, was that he silences the rainy day critics and becomes the second quarterback this season to throw for 300 against this Niners defense. Again, I think it's a big it's an opportunity for him, whether it's legit or not. It's about taking ammo out of the other guy's gun. This is an opportunity to take the bullet out.
I've never seen a quarterback that's this good with that many holes. He's too short. He's got a noodle arm. He doesn't work hard. He plays too much golf. He can't handle tough coaching. He can't play in the snow. He can't play in the rain. I don't know what else. I'm trying to think of some of the other stupid ass shit that's been said about this kid. I just don't understand any of this. I really don't understand any of this. And it's just because of the Titans game. And in the Titans game, that game was a mess. And it was poorly called and everything. Duke actually has like 60 yards or 50-something yards in the first half. And they decide not to run anymore in the second half. Meanwhile, Tannehill, who doesn't have a tenth of the ability that Tua has to throw the ball, they're running the hell out of the ball because they understand what they have. And yet Miami is on the road and you actually have some running game and you then abandon it in the second half. It's just...
we know context because we watch the games. Everybody in the comments, well, some people, I don't know about this Robert Holiday guy, but a lot of people watch the games and they understand context. Nationally, a lot of people don't. So they see that Tennessee game. They see it was cold, it was rainy, he was bad. That's my opinion. He can't do it. And to their credit, Tua did even admit this offseason, like that was something he wanted to do. Was go out and find cold weather, find rainy weather, and practice.
As I've been telling you guys, he listens. That's why he plays like a maniac, because they tell him that he's not tough enough. And so then he'll take on a tackler. And that's why he'll hold on to the damn ball, because they keep telling him that he can't win and he can't do this and he can't do that. And it gets into his effing mind. And then he starts going against the grain for the hell of it, even putting his body at risk at times. Why? Because he really listens. That's why.
This is just, we're playing devil's advocate here. We're just playing devil's advocate. But that Tennessee game was poorly called. It was poorly called. It made zero sense. But also they fell behind, and they were not a team built to come back from a 1-score lead. Nevertheless, a 30-point lead or 30-point deficit. But it's just like I said, it is another opportunity to say, oh, Tua can't throw the deep ball. Well, he's been the most efficient deep ball passer and a frequent deep ball passer this year. Tua can't support an offense with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. They're about to have 2,000-yard receivers probably after this game. I think Jalen needs 70-something yards to get there. Somebody quickly Google receiving leaders for me while I'm on this rant and confirm it in the comments if you can. They're about to support 2,000-yard receivers just like that. Tua can't throw in the rain. Well, it might rain here. Here's an easy opportunity for him to say, well, next critique.
He's going to have two 1,500-yard receivers.
How many games are left? 6?
Two 1,500-yard receivers.
It's not impossible.
I know it's not.
It's not impossible. That's the fun thing about having Waddle and Hill is they're two guys who can go off for 170, 180 any given week. So, all it takes is one of those, and you're right on path for that. But that's just, again, it's taking another bullet out of the gun.
So 30-something yards for Waddle to get to 1,000, and Tyreek's over 1,200 already.
Yeah. Oh, it's only 30. He might get that in one catch. So he might get that in one catch. So they're about to have 2,000-yard receivers in this offense that people said Tyreek Hill couldn't be supported in. Right. So again, if you are watching, if you're paying attention to the Dolphins, if you watch the Dolphins and you know what they're saying and they know what they do and how they practice and this, that, and the third, then none of this is really surprising. It's about letting other people know, right? If that's what y'all have been doing for the past however many weeks, right? Like, just reminding people this is what y'all got wrong. This is what y'all are wrong about. This is what y'all don't know. Well, this is another opportunity to show people what they don't know. Which,
and by the way, you got an article now.
There
you
you
got to
go.
write an article now. You got to write this article now. I don't think in the NFL there's been two 1,500-yard receivers. Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle have a shot to do something that's never been done in the NFL. Two 1,500-yard receivers.
I would guess.
No.
I would guess. Yes, Robert, I'm a sensitive young guy who is better and richer than you. So keep condescending, but like you're gonna be mad in the comments, and I'm gonna keep out earning you. Either way.
What are you doing? What are you talking about?
This Robert sensitive guy, Dolphins hate it. Like it catches my attention and makes me roll my eyes. But
okay.
No, if I had to guess, I would say Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, maybe.
They didn't get 1,500 each.
Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, or maybe Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne.
Morris and Reggie Wayne didn't have it. Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt didn't have it. John Stallworth and Lynn Swan didn't have it. Duper and Clayton didn't have it.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, there's been all kinds of pairs. I don't think anybody's ever had a pair that has, Rice and Taylor. They didn't go 1,500 each. I'm sure of that. What do you got for me? The
Cardinals had 3 1,000-yard receivers in 2008.
I remember that. The white kid was the third one, right?
No, it was Breston, Bolden, and Fitz.
Oh, I thought it was that guy that's been there forever. What was his name? He left before 2008. It was before. I forgot that kid's name, but yeah, okay. They had 3 1,000.
Yeah,
that's
1,500.
I think that's been close to have done. Maybe a couple times. The 3 1,000s, because you've had like guys that have been, a nice rotation, but 2 1,500s. There you go. There you go.
Is he on pace? Let me pull up reference here.
No, there's no way. You won't find it. I'm pretty sure, just going off my memory of history and watching all those teams that you talked about, I'm pretty sure that both of the receivers weren't at over 1,500 yards. I'm pretty sure of that. Like 99.9% that I'm sure of it. There's a very.
It's like Waddle is just under pace.
I know.
Just under the pace at 1488. But
it could happen.
It's close.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, doggy dog. And be safe in your travels. Enjoy the West Coast, since you'll be out by your old stomping grounds. And we shall talk to you on Sunday.
Only regret is that I can't go catch a Kings game, but I will catch up with y'all on Sunday. Robert, I'm sorry for yelling at you, bro. You got on my nerves. It happens.
You're in San Francisco. Why do you want to go to Sacramento? What's wrong with you?
That's where I'm from.
Come on. What, you got a cowbell or something? You need to go hit or something? What's wrong? Come on. Why do you want to go see the Queens, as Shaq would say? Come on. Sleep Train Arena. What kind of a name is that?
Golden One Center, like the beam.
By the way, it does look nice from the camera angles. I haven't been to the arena, actually. It's nice, actually. It's really nice because it looks great from the TV angles. Like, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a look. I remember the rumors, the moves to Seattle and Virginia Beach and Anaheim and all this shit. So like, it means a lot that the stadium was even built. I went and drove by it 2 years ago. It was the last time I was in Sacramento. Obviously couldn't catch a game. It was like July, but just seeing it, man, almost brought a tear to my eye. It was sick. But yeah, that's go Kings. Robert Halladay. Sorry, you got on my nerves. Perfect cue. Journalists do not get paid a lot of money. I am in a wonderful and blessed position but I very much made $29,000 my first 3 years of my career. Like, this is not it's not a career you get into for the money.
No.
It's not a career you get into for the money.
No.
I worked my ass off to get where I am here.
Yep. And I agree with that. We definitely aren't doing this for the money. That's for damn sure. There's a lot of passion behind it. Marcel, follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ and catch his work there at ESPN. We shall talk to you in the post-game show, my friend. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Be safe. There you go. By the way, 78 calories, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. I can't tell you enough about the zero aftertaste. I can't tell you enough of how delicious it is. And that's what you don't get with a lot of sports drinks. Well, you get it with Edge. Go to myedgedrink.com. You can't buy it in a store. You got to go to myedgedrink.com, order it to your home, your office, and you will get 10% off. Use our code BIG-O. And by the way, as an elixir, mix it with a little Grey Goose or whatever your favorite vodka is, on a Tito's or whatever. Trust me, you will love it. Okay? You are going to freak out when you try that. myedgedrink.com, the finest energy drink on the planet. Once you try this, you will never want another different energy drink again. myedgedrink.com, use our code BIG-O and get 10% off.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
That's the guy. Good job by you, man. Glue glass. Thank you, bro. That's nice job by you, Ricky Prohl. That's the dude. Let's see. 29K a year. Some people have issues even making that. Yeah. Yes, sir. Big O, I wouldn't play Armstead this week. I'd save him for the next game and beyond. What do you think? I won't care what the media thinks if we lose. You know, Perfect Q, the problem is that you and I don't know how bad the injury is. And that's where that's what we lack is the real information. How much less mobility does he have? How much pain is he in? How much discomfort? How much does it limit his job? We don't know. It might not be a bad enough sprain to keep you out, or then again, it might be. I that's the part that we will not know. And since we don't know, we have to then just trust them, unfortunately. That's it, or fortunately, or whatever. And we just got to hope, fortunately, actually, that they're handling it the right way. That he is healthy enough to play and get by. And let's be honest, folks. What do you want? A 70% Armstead or 100% Greg Little? So those are the moments you really need, the video, not the audio. Yes.
FAU moved quickly. They've hired Tom Herman, former Texas Longhorns coach, as their new head coach.
Okay. Not Deion?
Nope. Apparently he wasn't ready for FAU.
Okay. All right. I mean, I thought he wanted a big-time program. Wasn't FAU the national champs a couple years ago? No. I think I think FAU also declared themselves champions too. Owls in the world. They are the champion of owls. Anyway, Deion Sanders, by the way, has it down to 3 schools: Colorado, Cincinnati, and USF. Who the hell would go to USF? Seriously. Colorado's nice. I'd go to Cincinnati if you give me a choice between those 3. You know that the 2 prior coaches, one's at Notre Dame, and Fickle now just got elevated to a big-time school. So you've got 2 guys that have gone to Cincinnati and have had a ton of success moving on, right? If I'm Deion, if I have to pick those 3, okay, if that's what he's down to, Colorado, Cincy, USF, he told his players and his recruits that he will pick his school on Saturday. Now, I know that he wants to do this also for his assistant coaches.
So does that mean he's out of Jackson State?
Or maybe he comes back.
Okay, so it's the 3 or Jackson State. Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood how you were saying. I was like,
he told the kids at Jackson State that he'll make his decision on Saturday. So if he stays, it's because he wants to wait for a bigger school to come knocking.
Yeah.
And I personally, if I'm him, I would wait for a bigger school too myself. But if you've got to choose between the 3, you go Cincinnati.
What was the 3 again? It was Colorado,
Cincinnati, and USF. USF.
Oh, USF?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. No, not UCF.
No, I know. I
would actually take UCF.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
I would take
USF,
UCF, man. They got the stadium. They got a great fan base. They're so fanatical. They even think they won a national championship. And they're a fun school, man. They've done a nice job overall. So, yeah. But Cincinnati's going to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So now you're going to be a Power 5.
Yeah.
Colorado's in a Power 5. Obviously, USF is not.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati is headed to the Big Ten next year. So you will be having the money coming in from the Big Ten, which is like $100 million plus for each school.
Yeah. And what kind of donors do they have, though, with Cincinnati?
Well, they just got their stadium upgraded and all
I wonder
that.
how they are, because that, like you're saying, that to me would be.
But it's been a stepping stone
to looking at it. Yes, but again,
for Fickle and for
when you look at what Deion's
what's the
done
Notre
at
Dame
Jackson
guy?
State, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I know you're talking about them.
No, he's at LSU now. Brian Kelly. I'm sorry. Brian Kelly was at Cincinnati.
Yeah, and then he went.
He went to Notre Dame. Now he's at LSU.
Yep.
So now Fickle and Brian Kelly have gone the Cincinnati route. At least Deion knows that if you go Cincinnati and win, you will have an opportunity. Now, it'll be a little harder to win in Cincinnati because now you're joining the Big Ten.
That's where it's almost like, do I stay in Jackson State and build up the aura, or do I take a jump and go to a school? And not saying that Deion's not a great head coach. That's not what I'm trying to say. But when you step up there, if you don't have that team with you, you're looking at Mario this year with the University of Miami.
Right.
It's not like Deion saying, hey, guys, let's go Jackson State, the team I have now.
Right.
Let's go to Cincinnati and continue. No, now you're rebuilding all this at a school, at a Power 5 school, and you're going to the Big Ten. I don't know necessarily it's a recipe for continued success for Deion.
Yep. Knight says, go Bulls. I feel for you, brother. Wow, USF has been a outright disaster. Outright disaster. Big O, we scored 0 points in the second half against the Texans with Armstead out after scoring 24 in the first half. Come on, man. We need Armstead even at 70. Tua didn't play that whole half. Remember that also. That helps a little bit. But, yeah, I get it. And that's why I said 70%. Armstead is better than anybody on the line. Anyone. So, yeah. Yes, I will trust Armstead and McDaniel's opinion. Both of them will not risk Tehran or teammates' health. I don't think so. I think they're going to do, I think they're going to try to do the right thing. University of Cincinnati, they've been there in the playoffs. Eric Simon says, what's up, Bo? I feel like the Pats can beat the Bills tonight. They have Dawkins out and Von Miller. What do you think? No, they got a shot. I just don't trust the New England offense. That's my problem. The New England defense is pretty good, but the New England offense is not. And even without Von Miller, I just don't really look at Mac Jones in that offense. What is it? Demondre Stevenson? Is that how it's pronounced? Demondre? Right? I like that kid. He's shown me something there. He's got a little something to him, man. That's been a good pickup for them. Stevenson kid has been a nice addition, but I do not fear that offense. I just don't. And I don't know if they'll have enough to keep up even with an injured Bills team overall. Yes, sir.
All right, Cincinnati's actually going to the Big 12.
Big 12. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
I said Big 10. Big 12.
Does that change your thought process?
Big
12 is
lesser of a conference than the Big 10.
Now,
yeah, less defense. So I would go.
Might not be
it's a Power 5.
Yeah.
I would pick Cincinnati anyways.
Yeah,
Either way.
Cincinnati would be the head. I just
don't
know that you're going to replicate all the success they've had, and then you fall into what Mario fell into this year. And again, I don't know that fan base is like the Canes fan base, but all of a sudden you're winning all these coaches. You come in and it's not a success right away. It kind of takes a little of that aura of prime time.
By the way, it's Ramondre Stevenson. I just looked it up.
Oh, okay.
I think I said Dramonde or something. Ramondre Stevenson. But I like that kid. He's impressed me. That's definitely one. Got like the kid that Breece Hall that the Jets got. That some bitch can play. Dude is a load, bro. That's a talented cat. Mike says the San Francisco game would feel good to win, but not at the expense of our players' health. We have a lot of big division conference games we need to be healthy for. True. Perfect Q says, and yes, even in that crappy weather, Tua was moving the team in the Titans game with less of an offense than we have now. Yeah, I don't make a big deal about the rain and the snow, and Tua's a complete quarterback, man. He can play the game, period. Is he as gifted as a bunch of other ones that have played in the history? No. And neither was Joe Montana, and neither was Bob Greasy, and neither was Drew Brees. Didn't stop them from having success. These kind of things are just silly to me when people are going to that kind of an extreme. All right, we got 2 hours down. We got one more to go. The man, the myth, the legend. That is Alan Poopart, baby. He will start off hour number 3. Give us 2 minutes. Alan joins us with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins reports.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmith in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poopart in our EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
All right. There he is, the man from Sports Illustrated, Alan Poopart, ready to rock and roll. No Expos hat?
No, it's in timeout. It was behaving badly, so I put it in timeout.
All right. Well, just want you to know, I got my tickets yesterday, August 11th and the 13th. I am going to Olympic Stadium.
Nice.
To see Metallica. Are you a Metallica guy at all?
Not really.
Okay, so they're doing something special. Like you buy tickets, you're buying them for 2 shows.
Okay.
Oh, and they're doing 2 completely different sets.
Nice.
Yeah, it's actually pretty
strong.
Yeah, it is strong. Mammoth, which is Halen's son, and Pantera, the version of Pantera that's now, are opening up for that one. I also got tickets for Mexico City and Metallica, but this is like in September of 2024, dude.
Jesus. Man.
Yeah, Greta Van Fleet and Mammoth are opening up for those dates. But
nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what do I do in Montreal, bro? I mean, when we get closer, I'll hit you up for some. But what's a must that I have to do in Montreal? Which is, by the way, it's very cool that I'm going to see a concert in Olympic Stadium because obviously that's a hidden treasure of the North Americas when we talk about sports stadiums. It
is.
Yeah, it's got its history.
It's a dump, though.
There aren't a lot of stadiums that have history like that one now left. We've torn them all down, bro.
No, it's there, actually. I went to see some events at the I'm going to date myself here. The 1976 Olympics were in Montreal. I saw soccer at Olympic Stadium, and I wound up going to 6 different events.
Nice.
That was the one I saw at the Olympic Stadium.
Okay. All right. I'm sure nowadays it's considered a dump, right? Because it's so old. It's probably outdated as hell. But hey, man,
it was a dump. It was a dump from the beginning. To be very honest with you.
Yeah. It's one of those old.
Really
yeah, exactly. What are you going to do? But it's one of those rich histories. So, what's one thing I have to do in Montreal?
Old Montreal.
What?
You have Old Montreal.
Okay, I got to go to old Montreal.
Go to Old Montreal. That's a must.
Okay. All right. We'll be there for a couple of days, so we'll get to enjoy a little old Montreal. All right. We'll get some food in there too. Get some Canadian culture in there. Not beer. I know that's just part of your culture too. You guys are all, but what you too? You're a big alcoholic too, man. Is that what it is?
Whenever I drink, which is very occasionally, it's wine. I'm not a beer person. You have to have a poutine. You have to have a poutine.
Molsons, huh?
I'm sorry?
No Molsons?
Never could stand beer.
All right. So your thoughts on Armstead. What do you think happens? What's your gut tell you? 2 nights ago, somebody told me that he was going to give it a go. So I said, wow, that's crazy. And then I'm hearing it now that he's going to give it a go. So what do you think about that? Is it real or is it Memorex?
My gut, my shoulders, my elbows, my head, my nose, my chin, pretty much every part of my body tells me not happening. And it could be one of those where, yeah, he wants to give it a go, which is fabulous. You love
right.
Somebody being a gamer and all that, where I think the Dolphin medical staff are going to talk to the coaches and tell them Yeah, he could possibly play. He's not going to be as effective as he normally would be, and there's also a chance that maybe he could aggravate it. And the coaches are going to tell him, Teron, we love you being a gamer. Sit this one out. That's where I would expect things to go with this particular situation. As my daughter makes a cameo appearance here.
No.
Hello. All right, tell her we say hi. We're glad she did a cameo. The whole family should be doing cameos.
Yes, I was waving, and she's making another cameo here.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. The best part is it's not your wife, because then she'd be like with a broom or something, just wanting to hit you or something, right? That's although that would be entertaining.
Well, hello, sir.
Hello. I love when they say hello, sir.
If anyone's seeing this, hi, make me famous.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Make her famous.
There you go.
There you go.
We'll be waiting for the contracts. She wants to be a star, so anybody wants to produce a contract about me, send them attention, Sarah.
Okay, there you go. Sarah's the star of the show. It certainly ain't Alan. That's for damn sure. All right, Alan. So, how do you handle this absence? How would you handle it?
No, we discussed this the other day. I mean, a lot of chipping, max protect, a lot of screen passes, anything to slow him down. And it was interesting because Darrell Bevel spoke to the media today, and he was asked how you can mitigate the 49er pass rush. And he was basically talking about like the quick timing of the passing that the Dolphins have shown in recent weeks. If the ball is out of Tua's hands very quickly, then the pass protection doesn't have to be as good. And we know it's not going to be as good if Armstead winds up not playing. So it's going to have to come out fast. Fortunately, the Dolphins have wide receivers who can create separation very quickly with Hill and Waddle, which gives you hope that they'll be able to accomplish some things in the passing game, even if Armstead doesn't play. What you might not be able to do is those longer developing throws deep down the middle of the field.
Marcel thinks Kendall Lamb will be the one that's activated from the practice squad. They've got 4 linemen. You put that in an article a couple days ago. They've got 25% of their practice squad is linemen. So obviously they've been working on trying to develop some depth there. He thinks it'll be Kendall Lamb, who was just signed. Is that correct? Because I'm wondering, is he in shape? Everything, kosher with him to sign him and then play him within the same week? Or do you think it'll be Keon or somebody else in that group?
Well, they can't elevate Keon because they've already done it 3 times, even though he has yet to appear. So for him to play, they would have to sign him to the 53, which I honestly don't see personally.
Right.
And Kendall Lamb's a guy, I'm going to assume they signed him with him in shape, with the idea that they could need him pretty quickly. And he's a pure tackle, whereas the other 2 guys, James Empey and Lamont Gaillard, are more interior offensive linemen. And where you're hurting right now is a tackle. So it absolutely makes sense that if elevate somebody, it will be Kendall Lamb.
Okay. All right. I forgot about the Keon nugget there, that he'd already gotten 3 elevations. Is the weakness of the San Francisco defense the secondary? Is that what you have to pick on?
Yeah, not a whole lot of secondary, not a whole lot of weakness on that defense. And I was looking at those stats today. Other than the KC game where they got completely torched, both halves, especially in the second half, they've given up more than 300 yards, which is not a lot, 3 times all year. And the other 2 times that they did it, other than the KC game, was like 321 and 327 or something.
How many good quarterbacks have they faced that can do those things?
Well, they faced Matthew Stafford twice. They faced Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson used to be a good quarterback. Sorry.
And Stafford's not very good either, bro. Not this year. It's not
as good as it was last year. But again, here's the problem. If we're going to play that game of who have they faced,
I'm just asking.
I understand that, but I don't want to start poo-pooing that, because then we have to look. Okay, well, what defenses have the Dolphins torched?
Well, no, but the defense for the Dolphins is not looked at that way. They're the bend, but
No,
no.
I'm
no
talking
break.
about the Dolphin offense. Which really good defense have they smoked? That's why I don't want to play that game.
But it's not a matter of smoke. It's just a matter of beat. We don't need to see smoke. You just need to beat, like you beat the Ravens, like you beat the Bills. You've beaten some good defenses. So, I mean,
Did they beat the Bills defense? Really? They scored 21 points. They didn't really beat the Bills defense.
I mean, they won. They won the game.
They won that game because they bent and they didn't break on defense and they make key plays. No, but Big O, are you going to tell me? But I understand that. But what I'm telling you is it's not like that defense, the Dolphin offense dominated a good defense there, which is why my entire point for this whole thing was I look at that 49ers defense and I'm not really focusing on who they played. I'm looking at that defense. I mean, they got studs everywhere. Nick Bosa's a complete stud. Fred Warner's a hell of a linebacker. That safety they have, whose name pronunciation escapes me right now, is a monster. That dude can play. Ward.
But what about their corners? Can you
Ward,
attack?
Who they signed from Kansas City, is a good player. He's a very good player. They signed him as a free agent. So if you're going to look for a weakness on that defense, sure, maybe their cornerbacks aren't great. I know they lost one of them. Was it Mosley, who's a good player, who they lost for the year. But that's a good defense, top to bottom. If there's a place to attack, it's the secondary or the cornerbacks, I would say. But you got to give your quarterback time to do that.
Right. Well, I mean, the good thing about this team is that you have two receivers, and they proved it last year when you only had one of them. Everybody knew Waddle was getting the ball, even with a terrible offensive line, and they were able to get the ball. Now, there were short passes and all that because you weren't working much of the of downfield because you didn't have a lot of time. But I think with those two guys out on the field, Alan, that's a really good way of like combating what you're trying to do out there. And those are guys that can find quickly the open space, and you have a quarterback that can read quickly. So I think it's kind of a good combination to attack that secondary.
No, it gives you hope that they'll be able to have some degree of success against the 49ers, but it's not going to be 350 yards and 3 touchdown passes for 2, I wouldn't think. And if it is, then holy shit. Now we're talking serious possibilities. And if we mention the cornerbacks for the 49ers, it's not like they're going to be playing a whole lot of man-to-man, I would expect. It's going to be zone, so those guys are going to get some help. So, no, it's certainly not a case where, my God, the San Francisco defense is awesome, the Dolphins are toast. No, I'm not saying that.
No, I know.
What I'm saying is there's going to be a challenge.
Oh.
What? Hello?
Oh, there we go. There we go. It's going to be a challenge, and then continue.
I stopped that. It's going to be a challenge. I mean.
Okay. So no, I thought you cut out for a moment there because I'm looking at the video, but it is delayed a little bit. By the way, it's Hufanga, the guy you're talking about. But I'm looking at Lenore Demador and Shavarius Ward.
Ward's a good player. I like Ward.
And Jimmy Ward has been around for a while, and so he's the cat that was with Baltimore for many years, if I remember correctly. Jimmy Ward. So I think that's to me the way you attack these guys in that passing game, because I don't think that Wilson may be inspired to play his former team and all that good stuff, and those are always great storylines, but I just don't think that offensive line, with if Armstead doesn't play, you're not going to be pushing those guys around to create running lanes. So I think you're going to have to find a way to get that passing game going. And with those two cats, will you move Tua a lot? Will you do some boots and waggles to kind of change the launch point? Do you think McDaniel will do that?
Not a ton, but you do it every once in a while, again, to keep him honest, because if you do it too much and you leave him exposed out in the open if somebody doesn't bite. And one more thing, even if Armstead does play, I wouldn't count on the running game too much, because I heard questions today about like the Dolphin running game like falling off in the second half last week after Armstead, and the numbers are actually completely the opposite. They actually ran better in the second half. In the first half, they did nothing against a really bad Houston run defense, which obviously was geared to stopping the run. And Frisco is a really good run defense. So yeah, but
that was a screwed up game, Doggy, because
sorry?
that was a screwed up game because that was the game to start from the beginning running the ball. And then he went completely opposite and went pass happy. And you can't complain because you're up 30-0. So obviously he had the right plan. The problem was after all the injuries hit, my God, that tore everything apart. And then since you weren't establishing the run and really playing, punch him in the mouth football, it was hard to get that going. And even though, like you said, they had some success, but it couldn't be an anchor for them the entire second half, which would have helped out in that second half to kind of burn out the clock and keep that offense off the field.
No, but if you remember, I told you last week, watch McDaniel come out and chuck it down the field because Houston's going to be geared up to stop the running game.
Right. You did.
No, but the few times that they did run, I think, the yards per carry average in the first half was like 1.8 or something. It was horrible. So they didn't try to run it very much. When they did, it wasn't successful. And pretty much consistently, the Dolphins' ticket to winning on offense is throwing the ball. It's not running the ball. Let's not kid ourselves.
No, of course not. And that's what this team has become. It's an offensive team. You've been covering a team for a quarter century that was always waiting for the defense to bail them out. That's not the case anymore. The defense has to make some plays, but it's the offense that's going to need to bail this team out if they're ever going to win anything big.
It's
right now.
it's the passing game. It's the passing game that's going to do it.
Yep.
Probably 99% of the time.
Amen.
Even the Cleveland game was a bit of an aberration to me when they ran for almost 200 yards.
Yeah, you played against a really bad team, and your boys got in a groove, and that's it. And I think it gets demoralizing for the Browns too. I think, you've been around the teams that when they lose a lot, it's hard to keep that same energy for 4 quarters for some of these franchises at this point in time, man. It's gonna be tough. All right. Health-wise, what do we know about the Niners?
McCaffrey didn't practice yesterday, had a knee irritation. It's actually funny because I have that on my screen. I'm like, here, let me put my old man glasses on. Yeah, they have issues at running back because Elijah Mitchell's out 6 to 8 weeks. It's funny too because now they're down at practice yesterday. They were without their top 2 running backs, and we have Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson here. Oh, and Savon Ahmed, who also was with the 49ers once upon a time in training camp. There's word that apparently Eric Armstead returned to practice, didn't play last week, who's another tremendous player on the defensive line. Outside of that, they had one of their offensive linemen, Spencer Burford. Can't say I'm very familiar with him. And then a D lineman, Charles Omena, who didn't practice either yesterday. I haven't gotten their report for today since they're on the West Coast.
What'd you think of the whole Mostert thing?
Talking about the thing with Debo?
Yeah, it's so silly, bro.
It's silly, and it's like, and these guys sometimes aren't aware that, like, I'm talking to a guy writing about a Dolphin story, so I'm gonna pump him up, and then you make a comment that could be seen from the other side as a shot at your former team, and of course, Debo jumps on it and makes a thing about it.
And he clearly said, dude, I'm talking about my guy. I'm talking about Tua, that, we got a guy that can sling it. That's all he said. That wasn't meaning anything except they like their guy. They believe in their guy. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everybody, when you've got a quarterback on every team, you always feel, unless you're a Purcell on the Denver Broncos, but most everybody else, when they have a quarterback, they're pretty, excited about that. But
he also said we have more talent than we had before. I think there was another quote. And again, if you're Debo Samuel, we're like, what the hell? It's more fun. I asked Mostert about it yesterday, and he was like, he texted Debo, and they got a laugh about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna imagine it's just silly stuff. But fans, boy, they eat this kind of stuff up.
I mean, it's not like Patrick Peterson taking a shot at Kyler Murray the way he did, even though he's probably not wrong.
Well, I got to tell you something. That Patrick Peterson stuff, and Kyler Murray's like, oh, well, why you got to take a shot to improve your podcast, this, that. And it's like, dude, you're the guy with a homework clause on your contract. Mm-hmm. You're the guy. We all saw you ripping your coach a new one walking off the field in the middle of a game. Like, we have watched your behavior overall. And so, it's one of those things like, maybe what you should do is just worry about your shit so people don't talk about you and do your job, because Kyler's kind of gotten a pass in a way, because I watch other quarterbacks around the league and they get way more heat for the things that they don't do, or they thought they didn't do, or they weren't going to do, or whatever. And this kid's gotten kind of a pass over the last couple of years. And you think about it, you already got a big ass contract that you really haven't earned.
Yeah, and why the hell the Cardinals signed him to that contract in the offseason beyond when they didn't need to. They didn't need to. And if you notice also, Kyler didn't say anything about to Peterson contradicting what Peterson was saying. It was just, why didn't you call me? Tell me first.
Right.
Like, dude, you're right, but why are you making me look bad? Okay, well
yeah, exactly. Well, dude, stop. Maybe change your ways, bro. And people will actually look at you differently. It's a problem. What'd you think of that Purcell moment, bro, with Russell? That is bad, brother. He just had a party Tuesday night, the night off. Half the team only showed up to that party.
It's better than Bo Callahan where nobody showed up. Come on, you got that one, right?
Yeah, he's laughing. Sean is clapping and everything.
No, that whole thing, I mean, what a disaster. Because they're like, he's playing like shit. They're completely locked into him. Throw away the key for like at least 3 years.
Yep.
And they also gave up a ton of draft capital. I mean, holy shit, talk about a disaster. And you got a quarterback whose teammates clearly don't like him. So good luck building a team around him.
Yeah, you can be whatever you want in a locker room pretty much, but brother, if you don't produce, that's going to be the ultimate sin in that locker. And when you're getting all that money, oh my God, there's going to be a lot of people that are pissed. And I don't know how he gets out of this, man, because he just doesn't look. He looks like a shell. Obviously, this guy's going the route of Cam Cameron. Probably. Guaranteed, right?
Probably.
What's his name? And he'll go back to Green Bay. I would imagine. Hackett. Yeah, that guy's going the Cam Cameron route. All right.
But then look at this one. Ask yourself, if you're the Green Bay Packers, how much you regret not having traded Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos instead of giving him $50 million for each of the next 2 years.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Those are franchise-altering decisions,
Yeah. No, we've covered it down here many times with bad contracts that alter this team all the time. So yeah, no, I've seen it firsthand. It's crazy stuff. All right, what do you got? What's your prediction for the game on Sunday? I know you do it on Fridays.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. I'm sorry. Saturday morning.
Let's put you this way. That's a tough one. But here's the thing. Okay, of that 3-game road trip, if they're going to lose one of them, let's lose this one, obviously, because then the other one's an AFC East game, which is clearly the biggest one, again against Buffalo. The Chargers an AFC game. If you're going to lose one of those games, you want to lose this one. Obviously, you'd prefer going 3-0, but
2-1 would be awesome. I'll be really happy, dude. Yep. Yes. 2-1 would be phenomenal in this stretch. That would prove that this is one of the better teams in the NFL. You go 2-1, even with all the injuries that they have suffered, overall on this team. It's impressive what they've done. By the way, I told Marcel this, and I'll tell you this. It's never been done in the NFL. The Dolphins have a shot at having 2 1,500-yard receivers.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool.
No, it would be pretty cool, and it's a completely crazy season. The whole, what they're doing with the passing game is
right.
I mean, big time.
And as you just said it, right? If what's going to save their asses is the passing game, well, then here are the two guys, and I think these are the two guys you need to use this. Although I'm sure River Craycraft is going for some revenge.
And Trent Sherfield. Don't forget about Trent Sherfield.
Is he back? Are both healthy?
Yeah.
Are both playing? Yeah. Okay. All right. So then look at that. Two guys going for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Will either guy cross the 75-yard mark?
I don't think. I think Sherfield might have come close once, if I remember correctly. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, no, I wouldn't count on it. Be nice to see Hill with a $120 would work.
Yes, I think you're going to see both of them over 100 yards. I think they're going to drive that secondary crazy.
Okay.
I think they're going to plan on it. I think that's what they're going to try to do. So we'll see. We'll see. Follow them on Twitter at Poopart NFL. And as I tell you all out there, it is impossible. You are not a Dolphins fan until you bookmark alldolphins.com. So make sure you do that because this nutbag writes about 8 articles a day. I don't know how he sleeps. I don't think he does sleep, actually. I think him and Manny Navarro have figured out a way to write articles while they're sleeping. I mean, it's the only way they produce that many articles a day. So you stop drinking all that caffeine and get some sleep.
Sounds good to me. And next time I'll make sure I have the Expos hat. I apologize for this major faux pas.
Yes. On a day where the day after I got tickets to Montreal.
I know. That's even worse.
Look at that. That's just wrong on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
Much love, brother. We'll talk to you later.
Have a great weekend.
You got it. You too. There you go. Alan Poopart, baby, getting it done. EJD Construction gets it done all the time. EJD Construction is some good people, man. I got to tell you, we're putting together a little fund for the police department softball team, and EJD Construction was there, man, donating and helping, and just absolutely amazing. Edge Energy drink too, John, just some great people willing to help out the community. EJD Construction has been at this for a long time, folks. So if you're looking for custom home construction and major home remodeling, we're not talking about a handyman. Don't call Eric for that. But I'm going to give you the man's cell number. So you have the owner's cell number, 305-433-4843. Whatever it is you need to do, you need to modernize that kitchen. Maybe you had a fire in your office, your home, and you need to remediate everything, clear it out. They do that. There's a lot of our listeners that are calling about fixing and updating their roofs because insurance policies are up. And a lot of these insurance companies, if your house is too old and it gets over 20 years old and the roof becomes outdated, and then they will not renew you. So if you are one of those South Florida residents in Dade or Broward County struggling with that, call EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. Exceptional people. Eric has got a great staff, fully insured, by the way, liability and workers' comp. Just like Cutter's Edge Pro, when I tell you, do not hire anybody that isn't fully insured because they get injured on your property, they can sue you. Make sure, if you don't want to hire EJD Construction, that's fine. You don't want to hire Cutter's Edge Pro, that's fine. But if you do hire someone else, please make sure they show you proof they are fully insured to protect you. And EJD Construction does that. 305-433-4843. That is your EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poopart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right, we are back. Thank you, sir. As always, Sean Stanley. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. All right. Okay. So can you send Craig Mish a link right now? Por favor. Okay. All right. Let's see. Just pick the Niners, Poopart, and get it over with. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Go Pats. Who you rooting for tonight, O? You know, it's so weird we have to root for the Pats. I got to root for the Pats because the Pats aren't a threat to anybody. I'm not afraid of the Pats. I don't care about the Pats. The Bills, you got to respect, man. Yeah, you got to respect the Bills. They're a pain in the ass. I have zero fear of the Patriots. Tua owns his ass. He's 4-0. So that I'm not worried about whatsoever. But yeah, isn't it weird we got to root for the damn Pats tonight? For sure I'm rooting for the Pats. I'm rooting for Mac Jones to play like he never can play, basically. By the way, Tyreek Hill is here dealing cards. I see him right there. The jersey's right next to me right there. A gentleman, Tyreek Hill, dealing cards here at Hialeah Park. How about that? Those are things that you would never figure. All right? You know what we got to do now? We need to step in to the batter's box.
Time to step in the batter's box with one of the best insiders covering Major League Baseball and the Miami Marlins, Craig Mish. The batter's box is brought to you by Welt Rheaume Attorneys at Law. Personal injury, bankruptcy, or criminal defense. Call for a free consultation. 954-966-4646 or go online at WRFLAlaw.com. Here's insider Craig Mish.
All righty, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. You headed out on the road next week?
I am. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm going to go to San Diego for the winter meetings. I don't know what's going to be, but we're going to go, see what happens, see if there's some activity. It's back in San Diego again. So that was the last time they had the winter meetings, ironically, it was there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Can't they pick a nicer city? God, wow, San Diego. Wow, that place.
It's
trash.
nice. It's nice, but from a selfish point of view, I would love it to be a little bit closer.
No, I get you. But San Diego's awesome, dude. It's an
awesome I'm there so quick though, but like these things, Orlando, these things you don't get a chance to really go out. Like I mean, I remember the last time I went, I like made it a point to leave the hotel and go get dinner. Like I made a point of it. So I'll do the same thing this time, but I'm only going to go for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday because I got to work at Sports Grid. I'm missing too many shows to be out there.
So let me ask you something. Well, why don't you do a show from Sports Grid over there, bro? That would be awesome.
I am, but the difference is Sports Grid requires a hardwired connection.
That's what we do too. Yeah.
From Ethernet and and you know that. So there's no real guarantee when you're out there. Like you think you have one, but do you really have one? Are you sharing it? Right. And like you, we're broadcasting across the world, and it's TV predominantly. So I'll be on all of the shows Monday and Tuesday, but to do my own hosting live show, they're going to have somebody else sort of piggyback with me on those.
Okay. All right. That's cool. By the way, have you been to Petco Park for a game?
I have not.
Wow. What a beautiful stadium, dude.
I have not.
I saw Noah Syndergaard mow down like 10 Padres one day. And you know, where the stadium's at, it's an area called the Gas Lamp District.
Yes.
Dude, what a cool place. Great place. Bars and restaurants.
They really got, when you think about it, like they inspired Atlanta to do what they did with the battery and everything. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, man, it's a really cool place. I like San Diego. That's like, okay, if you're gonna pick a place, West Palm Beach, San Diego, you know, those are the kind of places you want to have those owner meetings. And as you know, because I've been doing it for years, if you ever want to be, a reporter and you ever want to find things out, you got to go to these kind of events to get to know the right people. So kudos to you as always. And, you know, people talk about the Marlins, but you're always constantly breaking all kinds of MLB stories too.
That's the thing that is, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that because
I know it. I see it.
I know. And people have asked me like over the last year or two, like you seem like Craig, you seem to be breaking less national stuff, and sort of what is the reason for that. And it's like you get to a point, Orlando, it's like I could do that, but you know what that would require? I just may as well glue this to my hand.
Yeah, no life. I know.
And so I sort of took a little bit. I still talk to people about things that are happening nationally, and I probably could break a few more. And I think when I'm at the meetings, that's my goal. But I have taken a little bit of a step back from that just because it is so intense. Like meeting these guys, Adam Schefter and Ken Rosenthal and Jeff Passan, they are literally locked into their phones 24/7, and
Exactly.
and I just don't want to be that.
I know. I've done it myself, dude. In breaking stories now, what I do now is, brother, I run into the story, then I'll break it, and that's it. And I'll
But you know what though? I
move
want to
on.
use the caveat to that. If somebody was paying me to do that
Well,
at the
obviously.
rate that they pay those people,
Right.
I would be happy to be that person. I don't
Right.
want to say that I don't want to be it, but just based on where I'm at right now,
Right.
do I
Yeah.
want to chase down a minor league signing for the Brewers right now, or do I want to, enjoy time with my family? Like, that's the difference. But if somebody's saying to me, "Hey, we're
Amen.
paying you millions of dollars to be a newsbreaker in Major League Baseball, sign me up," I'm there.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I'm the same way too. I just early on I was trying to get as many and all that, but I've kind of completely slowed down on that. And I'll get stories. I'll still break stuff and all that, but
Yeah.
but it'll be occasionally, and I'm not going to kill myself for it, bro. I'm just not going to kill myself for it.
No,
It
no,
is what
no.
it is.
But I would tell you this. I would like to eventually be one of those people. I think that I could. But as of right now, just the monetary reward for that, for what I'm doing, is not there. So but the Marlins, it doesn't require as much work because it's easier to just send a text and know I'm going to get a response, or pick up the phone and I know that they're going to answer. So that's an easier part. And the good thing through the years too, as you mentioned, very importantly, you were one of the few people who understand this, is that I could go to the winter meetings and literally not break a story, but a relationship to cultivate that could happen.
Please.
I could break one in 6 months
Exactly.
from doing it there. You know that from the NFL
Right.
meetings and the other things.
Right, exactly. That's what I do at the East West or the Senior Bowl or the
Oh, that's
Combine
right.
or
You've been
whatever.
doing it
It's
for years.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's what you do. You make relationships and you plant seeds, and eventually they come to fruition.
They do.
Down the line.
They do.
Talk to us about the Marlins offseason so far. What are
Yeah.
what are we going to expect, my friend?
Yeah, it's very interesting to this point. I haven't talked about this all that much. I think you're the only one that I've done any sort of interview with at this point. So I think they're going to add to the payroll. I think the payroll is going to go up. That I'm fairly certain on.
Wow.
I don't know how that's going to happen, whether it's going to happen via signing or via trade. The narrative as of right now, Orlando, as you know, is that it's just very unfortunate that the best players in Major League Baseball are unsigned in free agency. If Patrick Mahomes or Kevin Durant are free agents, they signed at midnight of the first day, and baseball is so
Scott Boras.
so backwards. It's
Scott
not
Boras.
even him. Everybody's unsigned.
No, but what I mean is the style of Scott Boras, where you take your time and you
It's so
milk
annoying.
the process,
So annoying.
bro.
So because of that, it's hard to. But let's be honest. Let's be fair to the Marlins just on this one. It's hard to gauge because no one is signed. No one is signing anyone, barely.
Yeah.
But I would tell you that they were very in on Jose Abreu, who signed with Houston. I know that the jokes are out there that they thought they could get him for $1, and they thought that they just gave him a couple of pastelitos and he would have signed. That's what they thought. But they were serious. They tried. Their offer was probably not the best. I don't even know if it was the second best. I don't know if it was the third best, but they definitely had genuine interest in the player. I think that maybe they thought there was a chance that he would sign with them, but it didn't happen. And so now, at least we know they're willing to spend something. So now it just comes down to reallocating that toward some other things.
Okay. Is it still the idea of trying to trade for young bats? I know they did one already, right? Didn't they acquire a young kid? I think
not this year.
No, not yet. Okay, I thought there was, or maybe there was a rumor of them being. I thought I read something about the Marlins with some
Not
kind of
really.
a young bat, maybe trying to trade for him. So
They're trying to trade for a lot of guys. Yes.
We talked about that earlier, that you thought that would be the plan, where they would trade some of their excess pitching.
I
for
believe
bats.
that's still the case.
That's still the case. Okay.
I
You haven't
believe
heard
that's
any
still the
names
case.
yet.
Yes, but I can't do it, unfortunately.
Okay.
With you. Yeah.
All right. I got it. All right.
Yeah. I mean, this would be basically like just, committing reporting suicide. Give it to Orlando, and then, then it's
Right. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've
listen, I knew that Flo wanted Jordan Love, and I couldn't talk about it for ever. And Omar Kelly, because I would tell all the beat guys who come on, I would tell him, hey, he never wanted Tua. He wanted somebody else.
Right.
And I would tell him, go find out. And then finally, when the crap was hitting the fan towards the end of last year, Omar then figured it out. He unearthed it that it was Jordan Love, and it was like, okay, good. But I was sworn to secrecy, and I can't do it.
It's not that I'm sworn to secrecy. I probably could do it, but
it's not worth it right now.
What's the benefit? The benefit is that I stir the pot and I tweet something out and 30 more people follow me. Fantastic. What and then I lose a relationship. Like why would I even?
No, it's not worth it.
But when it gets close and it gets serious, I'm the first one to report it every single time.
Exactly.
I don't get 100 out of 100. I probably get 90 out of 100 or something like that. But I can tell you concepts and theories, and what you just talked about is 100% accurate. The names, young, controllable, hitters. 100%. That's exactly what it is. As of right now, I think that's the chase. Absolutely.
And it should be very achievable because arms are way more valuable. So that's the good thing, right? Where the Marlins are at least in that case.
Right. Well, if I told you today, and you don't Google, okay? If I asked you how Matthew Boyd pitched for the Detroit Tigers this year, who just got 1 year and $10 million, you probably would go, whoa. That should make the Marlins feel pretty good about the situation. I would think so too, but I don't know. I mean, they have to be able, Orlando, they got to be able to execute the trades. They got to be able to make the deals. And if not, I mean, we're right back here again, but they have 7 or 8 starting pitchers of depth, which it may not be a lot because you always lose pitchers to injury. That's definitely true. But in their situation, they hold some chips, I would think, to be able to move. And I'm optimistic that something will get done, but again, we'll have to see. But the names that I'm hearing immediately would add offense to the team. They would have control of these players for a pretty long time, and I like the theory. I like that's the direction that they're going to go. And as far as free agency is concerned, what is it? Let's be honest: 2-year deals, 1-year deals.
Right.
10 million, 20 million, 30 million. I'm just being honest. There's people throwing Bogart's name and Trey Turner's name. And I mean, come on, man. Like you can have fun with that, but I don't think that's happening. I don't think
I'm with you there. That makes a lot of sense. Kim Eng, just out of curiosity, she's the one that would pick up the phone and start wheeling and dealing, correct?
Not in all situations. It's interesting. Okay. And by the way, this doesn't. She's going to make the final decision. Well, she makes the final decision, and she's got to kick it up, to the ownership. That's usually the way that it goes. But she, has people that, as assistant general managers, some of them have previous relationships with teams and current relationships with teams. So it's easier for them to at least make the initial call or be on the phone because they have that connection. So there's 30 teams. Does Kim call 17? Probably. But there are some others that the assistant general managers will have the tighter relationship. So it will start there and then eventually it moves over to Kim at that point.
And I'm not trying to be sexist in any way, shape, or form, but I know the world is. And so I just wonder how that, because she's pioneering, dude. And then all these men are so used to, dealing with other men. And I just wonder how that whole dynamic, because in a perfect world, we'd like to say it's a seamless transition. Does it really matter the sex on the other side of the voice? Yada, 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 all that. But in their world, I would imagine that it might be a little bit of a hurdle. So I'm just wondering because
it's a fair question. It's a fair
new,
question. So I can tell you, all I can speak to is my conversations with Kim. That's all I can speak to because I don't know how those go. But I would before I do that, and I'll do that. But before I do that, let's also remember something, Orlando. It's different now on December 1st, 2022, when she first got the job as the general manager. Orlando, she hadn't been a general manager in 10 years. So when she's going to call and getting calls to make these trades, she may not know these people. And she has people in the organization that do know these people. So, so understand that there's and it makes sense. It's like, Kim, okay, now I'm the GM. John Doe, he's best friends with the guy, and he's been really close with the assistant general manager for the Milwaukee Brewers. Why shouldn't he be on the phone? And it makes sense. But now, Kim's been at the job now for a couple of years, so now it's different. So now she's the one that's out there, more active. But
you know how it is. Agents develop relationships with certain front offices. They work better with some
she's
people,
doing all the free agents,
others,
though, I think.
and all those kind of
free
things.
agents. I think she's doing all. But when it comes to the trades, it's a little bit different because it's the teams. But she's the one. She's inevitably the spender, so she's got to be the one that's making the call on the free agents. I think maybe I'm wrong about that, but maybe not minor leagues, but major leagues. But when I've gotten to know Kim much better over the last 6 months to a year, and I would tell you there has not been one time in my most recent conversation, 6 months to a year, where that has ever crossed my mind. I mean, talking to her is literally like talking to a very active, savvy general manager. Oh, we got to do this and we got to do it. Like really impressive, I would say. Like really fun, active conversations. Like, going to try this, going to try that. A lot of off the record, some on the record stuff. But I got to tell you, like you would sit down and talk baseball with her like you'd be talking baseball with anybody else right now. 100%. 100%.
Because I know it's unfortunately for all women when they go into a man's world like that, it's brutal early on. The hurdles that they have to.
You'd have to ask her. But with me and her, I don't. It doesn't come to my mind not once.
Well,
maybe,
when you're out of the
first
meetings and you get to talk to general managers, maybe you approach one or two that have done deals with her.
Oh, I do. I have talked with them.
Right.
I have talked with them. But I would tell you that I talked to a lot of general managers. There really is not that much of a difference with this.
Okay.
I mean, I could tell that Kim was new on the job in Green for sure at the beginning. There's no doubt. Like I'd walk away going, oh boy, like I'm not sure, But now I don't get that feeling at all. But again, she was on the job like literally like I mean we could do hours on this conversation, man. Like think about that. Like Derek Jeter, as the CEO of the team, said, "All right, Mike Hill, I mean, regardless of what you want to think about Mike Hill, you're out of here, right? Like, thank you for all your service. Now, let me go ahead and pick someone to be a general manager who hasn't been in a front office in 10 years. And let me not interview anyone else either. Boom, 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 and good luck, And by the way, who is she leaning on? Derek Jeter, who's also never been a general manager.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. So initially, they offered him 7 years, $230 million, 30 per year, which would have made him around the 15th highest paid player at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Yankees have upped the offer to Aaron Judge to $300 million over 8 years, reportedly at $37.5 million.
Okay.
Giants and Dodgers are also in the mix. Judge grew up in Linden, California, which is outside of San Francisco, 100 miles or whatever the hell it is. So you tell me, is Judge staying in New York? Is he going to possibly entertain what's going on with the Giants and the Dodgers? What happens in that situation?
Well, if you asked me 1 year ago today about what would happen with Freddie Freeman, I would have said he would have went back to Atlanta. So are you asking the right person here? I don't know. I would also tell you that I'm a huge anti-geography person. I really don't think that plays a huge factor in these players making these decisions. I mean, Max Scherzer, he's a West Coast guy, signs with the Mets. Please with that. When you talk about geography, when it comes to free agents, it's air. It's basically talking when you don't know what's going to happen. Well, he is from this. I personally don't think it makes any difference at all. He is going to sign for the most money. Whoever offers Judge the most amount of money is who he's going to sign with. He could have signed that deal that you talked about, the 7-year one.
Right.
Whoever is $1 more is what he's going to take. That's it. So I don't think there's a preference there. Yankees offer him more than the Giants. He's going to the Yankees. Yankees stop. Giants offer more. He's going to go to San Francisco. I think.
Okay. So what? Two-part question.
No Dodgers.
What's your no Dodgers?
No.
Okay. So what's your gut tell you? Two. Yankees all the way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they will top whatever offer the Giants make.
I believe so. I was dead wrong on Freddie Freeman on this one last year.
But wasn't there some deal that went foo-foo there because of the agent or some crap like that? Or that story was bogus?
The Braves made him a fantastic offer. he received the better offer from the Dodgers, and he took the offer from the Dodgers. And there is nothing else to talk about. The Braves felt like they offered him a lot. The second he didn't, they traded for Matt Olson and signed Matt Olson. I don't know what else there is to say. I don't honestly. I look at the Braves and think they did the right thing, man. I mean, they had their limit. They went to it. Yankees are going to have their limit. They're going to go to it. If the Giants beat it, they'll go to it. Orlando, the Dodgers,
Yankees have a limit. Damn, I can tell. I can tell the old man's not alive anymore.
They shouldn't, and the Dodgers, by the way, shouldn't either. But let's go historically through the Dodgers. Would you like to do this? Here we go.
Go ahead.
Manny Machado, sign for him, goodbye. Trade for him, goodbye. Yu Darvish, trade for him, goodbye. Trey Turner, trade for him, goodbye. We can keep going. Max Scherzer, trade for him, goodbye. Like they don't like giving out long-term deals. They just don't do it. They don't like Mookie Betts, they signed. But most players, the Dodgers, make these huge blockbuster deals. They trade guys from their farm system. They keep them around for a couple of years, and they let them go.
Okay.
I mean, the track record is telling you this, right?
Yeah, no. So you think the Yankees will top anything that the Giants offer? In other words,
I don't know that, but that's what I would guess. I would guess that they would do that, and if they don't, then he'll go to the Giants. I believe this is not about geography. I believe this is about finances, and if Judge wanted to be a Yankee overall, he would have taken the 7-year deal and not bet on himself. He bet on himself. Was he not going to cash in now? Oh, let me just take less money.
Oh, no. Hell yeah. He's got to put a Joe Flacco now, baby. Yeah, no. I mean, Joe Flacco banked on himself. We had one of the greatest playoff runs ever, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he got his $20 million a year deal, and they had to give it to him because they had no choice. God bless him. You know what I mean? Now, there is the risk, right? Because you are giving a 30-year-old an 8-year deal, dude. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter, though, for the Yankees, and it doesn't matter for the Dodgers. And it kind of matters for the Giants a little bit. But it really, for the Yankees and Dodgers, another team, too, that it really doesn't matter for, that makes so much money, the Cubs. Like, what are the Cubs doing?
Yeah.
Rebuild? Yeah. What are you doing? Like, how much money that they make and with Wrigley? Oh, my.
Yeah, they print money. There's certain Boston, they're with their TV networks and all that.
Boston too is a great example.
I mean, when you got Nesson or you got Yes Network and all that, I mean, that's a huge advantage, dude. When you got your own.
And Houston is kind of doing the same thing.
Oh, really? They got their own network? I didn't know that.
It just feels like they're sparing no expense now. It just
but where's is that revenue stream straight from the team and the league? Because see, at least with the Yankees, they have those other revenue streams, and the Red Sox have those other revenue streams. You know what I'm saying?
Houston attendance is out of control. I mean, they sell out every game.
Yeah, and that's a cool little warehouse area around Minute Maid too.
They're winning a ton, and players want to play there. And again, it's like people freak out when they give Verlander $30 million, but then they win the World Series. They freak out when they get Abreu, and they'll let guys go too. They let Springer go, right? So
yeah,
I mean, they don't.
Oh, they've turned over that roster.
They just keep doing it.
It's the impressive part of the Astros.
It's
dude.
too good.
After all the scandal, to then come back from it, that's strong there, big time.
Teams do it different ways. St. Louis is another interesting team. They print money also, but the difference with them is that it's really hard for them to get those big free agents to sign with the Cardinals. It's almost like they have to bring them in first, let them see how it operates, and then they get the long-term deal, like the Goldschmidt, like the Arenado. I mean, some of that is I think part of it.
All right, my brother, besides breaking news and Marlins, but you get all kinds of MLB news. You talk business of sports. You talk fantasy. Tell them about the Sports Grid.
One second here. Somebody came in the office here. You know how that goes. Okay, so Sports Grid. Every day, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Newswire, and then writing for the Herald. But really, this is a cool thing. So if you collect baseball cards, like I collect baseball cards and everybody else collects baseball cards, we have a giveaway going on right now at Sports Grid where you can win a free box of Bowman Chrome Baseball 2022. We're giving away 12 boxes. We gave away one last week. We started our this week giveaway today. And all you have to do is retweet Sports Grid at Sports Grid or at Sports Grid TV and sign up for our newsletter, and all of it is free, and we give away a free box. So I want to promote that one.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to sign up.
Easy.
What the hell? What the hell? I got to get my cards graded, bro. It's my problem. I got a bunch
all
of
I do
cards.
is grade cards. It's sickening.
God.
I mean, I got them in front of me here.
You got to teach me how to grade that. So I don't know how to do that.
I'll give you the contact. Great contact. Very easy.
Okay.
The best thing about the guy that I have, I mean, I'll give him a shout out. PC Sports Cards. The best thing about Josh, I've known him for years. Big company. You get the cards graded. They tell you what the grades are. You take back the ones you want, and they sell the other ones for you and send you the money. It's fantastic.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, hook me up, bro, because I've got a crap ton of cards that I've
and the percentage they take as like you selling it on eBay, like they're taking like 3% more, and you don't have to sell them, and they just do it for you. They're taking a fee, but it's so minimal.
Right. They got to take a fee, bro. It's a business.
Of course. No, and so I just swear by them.
Okay.
They do a great job. You're not getting better grades or anything like that. It's just it's all so easy. You send it to them. I mean, the other day I got like 5 cards back. I got the grades, and the grading's been tougher lately. So I didn't get any 10s. I got 9s, and I'm like, click the box to consign. Boop, 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 boop. Send. Goodbye. Pay your fee. $100. Okay, great. 100 to make 500. 100 to make 300. It's just an easy process, man.
Yes, I'm with you. All right. I like it. So hook me up with that.
Yeah, of course.
I can talk to him. All right, good stuff. All right, and follow him on Twitter at Craig.
What do you want me on next week? Monday, Tuesday? Which day?
I told you whatever day you want to do.
Okay. Well, let's plan on me being live at the winter meetings on your show. Okay, next
Tuesday.
Week. One of the 2 days. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. What's interesting is the lottery is Tuesday at this time. So okay. I want to make sure I don't come on during that time. The Marlins are in the lottery, first ever lottery.
Oh yeah, no, but remember, it's only Thursdays that we do an afternoon show. We normally do the morning show Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Fridays.
Oh, my bad, I'm off.
Yeah. This is because the casino wanted us here on the afternoons, and what the customer wants, the customer gets.
The customer gets. Don't I know?
Damn
That's
straight.
How you've been doing this for 40 years,
Damn straight. They want us here at midnight. I'm broadcasting at midnight.
Chicken suit. You get in it.
Yeah. I do what I have to do to survive and do what I love.
I know it.
It's a beautiful thing. All right, my brother. You have a great weekend. We will catch up next week over at the Owners.
Love you, man. Have a great week. Okay.
Much love, bro. You got it.
See ya.
Good stuff as always. There we go. We love him, Craig Mish, baby. Always getting it done right here. Step out of. Oh, by the way, Welt Rheaume. Because I know they've got several of our listeners calling because you guys, I tell you all the time about Welt Rheaume because they are the proud sponsors of this segment, 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, owner's property damage like I went through, I witnessed it. They kicked Progressive's ass. Progressive was offering us, I told you, a fifth of what we got. And these guys, I mean, they were so incompetent on their end, they ended up getting somebody fired on the Progressive end. That's how weak. Condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. If any of these things have happened to you, and if you get any kind of water damage at home or storm damage or whatever, do not call your insurance company. You first call the great people at Welt Rheaume. They have their own adjusters. So that way you know exactly what's wrong, how much. So when the insurance brings over their adjuster, you've already done your work and you're way ahead of them. Remember, the insurance companies have their own lawyers, their own adjusters. They work for them, not for you. They're going to do what's best for them, not for you. Welt Rheaume is going to do what's best for you. Already some of our listeners are feeling the difference between Welt Rheaume. I already have. I saw them make Progressive come to their knees, baby. 954-966-4646. If you have any of these issues, you call Jeff or Dan. Tell them that Big O sent you. 954-966-4646. We step out of the batter's box.
You've been listening to the Batter's Box with MLB and Marlins insider Craig Mish. The Batter's Box is brought to you by Welt Rheaume Attorneys at Law. Personal injury, homeowners, or condo property damage, bankruptcy, or criminal defense. Call for a free consultation at 954-966-4646 or go online at WRFLA.com. Download any episode by subscribing to our podcast at Big O Radio Show on most platforms.
All right, Brian's asking, Big O, are you going to do a pre and post game on the Dolphins game next Sunday? Yeah, why? Dude, we do the whole season, Brian. Why would you ask that? Yeah. Now, what may be coming is we might be doing the pre and post at somewhere. Instead of just studio, you'll be able to watch it the same, but we might be at a restaurant, a bar. That is coming, so we might be able to do that. Did you guys see the mess Raheem Mostert was in with 49er fans? So Mostert, he went out and, kind of was defending his teammate, saying, we have a quarterback who can actually sling it. And, he was asked about it. He goes, I knew it was going to get some buzz, in which he said he was just simply trying to build up his Dolphin teammate when talking about Tua Tagovailoa. And so then all of a sudden, people were taking it wrong. And they were like, well, not only did I know that, but I knew that the fan base over at the Niners are they envious? Mostert said, choosing a word that isn't likely to endear him. So, because Tyler Dunn wrote this, Tyler Dunn, a friend of the show, and he's the one that was talking to Mostert about that. And so Mostert was, man, and he was talking about the fans in San Francisco, and he says, I'm all up for that because at the end of the day, I was part of that. I experienced all those things and what was going on. Nothing but good things out of that fan base. They're always going to have their guys back, like the Dolphins fan base would. So there's a lot of chirping and everything like that, but at the end of the day, it's all about football. And so the Niners fans took it personal that Mostert was talking about Tua, that he can sling it. And listen, let me explain something to some of you out there. You asked for this. Okay? So for those of you out there that are worried about, well, hey, why they got to talk up Tua? You asked for it. You hated on him. You said he can't play. You said he doesn't have an arm. You say he doesn't have a work ethic. You say he can't take tough coaching. You say he can't run a powerful offense. You say Tyreek Hill made a mistake signing there. So if you're tired of hearing people defend Tua, if you're tired of people talking about Tua, it's because they were tired of hearing your shit. And what happened when in our conversation, was it Marcel when they were talking about, oh, well, now we'll find out if it's raining in San Francisco. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go again with the rain shit. And then when he goes out and balls in the rain, then what? Then you expect people not to tell you, hey, idiot, you said he can't play in the rain. You asked for this. No one else. You asked for this because you were absolute. So you stood there taking shots and taking shots and taking shots. Now, suck it up. You're going to have to take the shots. And those are the facts. So people were tired of hearing that he can't play and all that. And then his teammates, they get tired of it because they know it's a lie. And this is what you want. You want it. You asked for it. You got it. Toyota. Like my assistant principal in Kinloch. I went to Kinloch Park Junior High, and we had an assistant principal, Montoya. And if you were going to get paddled because you did something, when you went to the room, right, and he said, well, we're going to have to paddle you. I know they don't do that now in this soft-ass world. And so he would tell me, put your hands on the table, look to the wall. And you knew it was coming. And the paddle would be hanging on his wall. And the paddle said Toyota on it. And it had holes drilled into it for aerodynamics. So every time he'd spank you, he'd said, you asked for it, you got it, whack, Toyota. You want it, you asked for it, you got it, to a hater. This is what you're going to get. Congratulations. Enjoy the ride. You're not going to hear the end of it until we're kind of done. But this is what you wanted. This is what's going to happen. And kudos to the Niners fans. They're standing up for their guy. That's great. But Dolphin fans are going to stand up for their guy in Tua. Players are going to stand up for their guy in Tua. And one media member will stand up for the guy. Now, there's a couple of others that did it. I know Barry Jackson was one of them. There's a couple of guys out there that weren't necessarily falling for all the crazy FUD that was out there. By the way, a arrest warrant issued for Antonio Brown. You know that story. I was wrong about Mike Tyson. I thought that story was going to end ugly. And thank the Lord he found his way. But this one's going to end ugly. This one's going to end ugly. You know, there's no doubt. I mean, I don't want to waste too much time. Antonio Brown's a clown, but that's not a good one. Oh, and I'm not going to get into all the quotes and all that stuff, but Dolphin fans, Deshaun Watson returns this week. They're playing the Houston Texans. Coincidence, right? Or karma, or whatever you want to call it. But remember, you had a former head coach here who wanted that scumbag. You know, the guy that says he's all about, you know, having integrity and all that, and you want to go get Deshaun Watson. Seriously. But here's the story. Some of the women he sued, they're going to the game. So not only do you have to deal with that guy coming back and the mess that it comes with, but the mess it's still ugly. He's got a woman that's still suing him now, another one. And so now the ones that he did pay off, they're going to go to the game. That's the ambiance you want for your team. I mean, to think that Flo wanted that scum and to think that the owner was somehow entertaining it, I got to tell you something. Stephen Ross has shown us every reason why he should never own the Miami Dolphins. The Brady thing, think about that. So you trade for Brady for 1 year. He said he can't even outplay Tua right now. And he's got great receivers too, by the way. Tua's outplaying him. And he would have retired. So you would have made all those moves just to play him for 1 year so he can then step into the owner's box with his buddy Bruce Beal. Is that what it was for? Bruce Beal, since he doesn't take the team seriously, let's bring an old fart in for 1 year only and then elevate him to ownership group. Or you can come, bring in Deshaun Watson, pay him all this money, and then deal with the entire baggage. I mean, I got to tell you something. I feel a blessing every day that Tua Tagovailoa ended up surviving all of this and getting through it, and that Chris Greer was able to get his way. Because if Flo or Stephen Ross get their way, we are in the same boat we've been in for 25 years, and nothing was going to change. And I don't care the name of the quarterback. It was going to be a clown show here. Because what else can Brian Flores do except run the big top? All right, we thank Craig Mish. We thank Marcel Louis-Jacques. We thank Alan Poopart, as always. We thank Steve Calabro. We got to thank Frank Fiore and, of course, the Brunetti family, great supporters of our platform for many, many years. Don't forget the Larry Little Legends, Hall of Fame Legends Night is set for December 2nd. You can't come out here for that. But December 3rd is the golf tournament. And if you want to be a part of a foursome, some of the greats are in it. Dwight Stevenson, guys like Mercury Morris and Bob Greasy, Emmett Thomas, a slew of former players and some current players, I'm told, might show up too. 954-867-6511. That's 954-867-6511 for the Larry Little Hall of Famers. golf weekend, and it's on Saturday. So if you want to be a part of those foursomes, make sure you call them out there. We are out of here. We'll see you tomorrow morning, live at 10 a.m., live from the studios. Y'all be good out there. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Love you all.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.